7:29:30. On Tuesday, February 17th, I will call this meeting of the Madison Board of Selectmen to order. The first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of non-public minutes made public from January 30th, 2026. Actually, whoever makes the motion, if you'd like to make a motion to approve both sets of non-public, that would be appreciated.
Are they both dated January 30th?
Nope, one is January 30th, one is February 3rd.
January 30th is discussion regarding investigation into personal use of town property. Board decided to have the local police department conduct interviews. And the other was discussed wages for all employees on February 3rd. So I will make a motion to approve the minutes.
Both sets?
Both sets. January 30th, non-public, and February 3rd, non-public.
Do you have a second? He's not gonna say he has a second
Okay.
because
That's
he
right.
was-
Second.
I wasn't there.
I'll second. Well, he looked at me. I was like, "Yeah, I'll second."
I was, yeah.
Jim,
yeah.
yes, Jim recused himself or wasn't
No,
here.
I wasn't here for
I
that
wasn't
meeting.
here, okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Motion by Joey, second by Jake. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4,
One abstained,
4-1-0, one abstention from Jim because he wasn't present. Alright, approval of the minutes from February 3rd, 2026.
I had a couple of clarifications. On page 4 of 6, the second to last paragraph, it reads, after discussion about the scope and cost, the board agreed to pursue MRI with a budget of approximately $8,000 as calculated by Gray, expecting the need for 8 hours and allowing for a thorough investigation without excessive cost. I had calculated $1,000, so change the 8,000 to 1,000. And where it says the need for 8 hours, it was the need for 8 hours of investigation and 2 hours of report writing. And that was all in the first sentence. The second sentence says it was agreed by the board. I would amend that to Price suggested to add $8,000 to the budget. And then the final sentence of that same section was Price was not certain yet, but the half that was missing was, and said we could potentially start before then, meaning town meeting.
Do you have those edits written down?
I do, in my chicken scratch.
Would you like to take on the task of finding these minutes and editing them and bringing them back?
Yep.
Okay, well then we will move on and we won't touch them
Okay.
until you've fixed them and brought them back. Approval of the manifest. Payroll, $46,968.07. Payroll liability is $17,956.08. Accounts payable, $76,535.81. New Hampshire State Retirement System, $21,254.49. $325,000 to the Madison School District for a total of $487,714.45. I have a motion to approve the manifest.
All motion.
Motion by Jim,
Second.
second by Jake. All those in favor?
Aye.
And we'll take those back down here when you're done with them.
Okay.
Chester Shackford. A week ago, at a budget meeting, you voted in favor of the investigative warrant article. Then a few days later, exchanged on Facebook, you encouraged people to vote against it. Can you explain?
I did not. But okay, go ahead.
No, that's it. That's all I needed.
Dave Scarborough. I'm here as the chairman of the steering committee for the Watershed Management Plan. Got a request. We've got a meeting coming up a week from today at 11 o'clock, 11 a.m., a Zoom call. And we're going to be going over with FB Environmental, is the company that's doing the study. Their recommendations coming out of the Watershed survey that they performed last fall, recommending certain steps we can take to mitigate stormwater runoff as it affects our watershed. And the projects are going to involve, in some cases, adding a culvert, maybe upsizing a culvert, some land movement to create swales and whatnot, just to steer water away from going directly into our streams and our lakes and our ponds in order to protect our water quality longer term. We would like to have somebody from the DPW at that meeting, someone who can represent the DPW and can provide some input, but also take away information from the meeting for future planning and just, knowledge about what we're going to be talking about come a year from now when the study's done.
Okay.
So if I could ask that you have somebody attend, that would be great. I can provide whomever the Zoom details.
What would be
for
the
that
specific
individual.
expectations, or how many meetings, or?
It'll be just one meeting for now.
Okay.
And then maybe we can see where that goes. There might be one follow-up that's specifically related to this. It would be great to have somebody on an ongoing basis, as we previously did. At least occasionally we had somebody on the call. But the intention is to have a standing DPW member on the call, because a lot of what we're going to be doing in the future is going to relate to DPW functions.
Such as?
So, sorry?
Such as?
Like I said, some of these projects, I mean, there's a
Specifically?
list.
Yeah, just.
It's all prioritized, and we're going to want to stage them out over time. But I think there's also an education process in terms of becoming more aware of ditches that, need to be maintained and so forth, that'll help with runoff and help channel it to where it needs to go.
Okay, I just wanted ditches and runoff, just wanted to get specific so we could ask.
Primarily, there'll be
Yeah.
more that, we'll get into in the process. It's a learning curve for all of us.
And what time are the meetings, and are they in person, or?
They're at different times, they're not on a regular schedule, we don't meet, some months we don't meet. We only meet as we need to. The only thing I can tell you is the next one's a week from today at 11 a.m.
The 24th then?
24th,
Okay.
11 a.m. on Zoom.
On
Can
Zoom.
you forward the Zoom invite to the DPW email address?
Yeah,
That would be perfect.
You
then
got
I
it.
can-
And then maybe one, we'll take.
They can decide which one of them is appropriate and available.
okay, we'll do.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
I'm sorry, I'm still confused. So you're in favor of raising money at the warrant article to proceed with an investigation you're on the record as wanting to do that warrant article?
I voted in favor of it at the budget hearing. But my stance on it is that there is nothing that can come from it, and I feel like it's a waste of money. I don't have a problem with the investigation as a whole.
So is that your personal opinion?
Well, I am one person.
Yeah, but you're the head of the Selectmen's meeting. Don't you think you're throwing weight where it's not?
Everyone here is
Wanted-
free to give you their opinion as well.
Yeah, but I'm not. Nobody, half the people in here don't even know who the heck I am. So I have no
I'm
clout.
talking about the members of this board. They all have their own opinion. We are a collective.
Okay, so do you think? Well, maybe you know. I don't know. Do you know that some of the others are going to change their mind on whether they're going to support this warrant article or not?
I don't. It's not my job to know. They have their own opinions. Unless we're discussing it here at the table, it's not my job to know.
Well, I'm here, you're there.
And they're here. You're welcome to ask.
Okay. Jim, do you
Yes.
support that article?
I don't.
You don't.
No.
Jake, do you support that
I
article?
support giving it to the townspeople to make their decision.
Good answer. Joy?
I support having an investigation to understand when management and when leadership knew what when. I wish it could have been done internal, because at first it was internal, then it was external, then it was internal, then it was external. I believe for objectivity reasons, we've lost the ability as a board to be objective. So it leans towards external. Do I think we need to spend $8,000? No. I just wish that it didn't have to go this way. I feel like when I first brought it up 4 months ago and said I heard about this, it just could have been answered then. It just could have been answered, yeah, this is what happened, this is the information, this is who approved it. Okay. I feel like it could have ended pretty quickly back then if we'd just gotten answers.
I totally agree. Nicole?
I thought we would, based on our roles up here, when this room is this full and the whole hallway is full, it's not our job to ignore what people are asking of us, and so I feel a little bit like putting it in the warrant article both increases transparency but ignores the people that have made the time to write letters there, and there are 30 or 31 of them, and attend week after week. I thought we would have been under contract already. So kicking the can down the road and not letting it get behind us is a little uneasy for me. I don't like it. I wish it would have been done already. It should have been, facts are laid out, this is what happened, this is when, everybody has the information. We've obviously worked really hard on trying to change the policy, but I feel like it is a bit of a kick down the road. I mean, some of the familiar faces in the room can attest to the fact that the place has been packed and the letters are stacked, and to find out the information. They just want the information and they deserve the information. It's their town, their stuff.
So I'll have one more thing to say, if that's okay. In my mind, I asked a question and fellow board members had the answers, and we still don't have those answers. And I don't feel like we should have to spend $8,000 to get answers out of your select board.
Well, I got three good answers.
don't.
Well, wait a second. I don't think it should have
I
been
didn't
going
ask
out.
you yet. I was gonna get back to you, but what?
Okay.
Hold on.
I agree with it. It should have been handled internally. We don't need to spend $8,000 to get to the bottom of this.
Well, see, that's peanuts.
You know,
What, that manifest you just signed was for how much money? For 1 month, what, 2 weeks period? $8,000? Come on, guys.
But-
It's a lot deeper than $8,000. There's some resistance here. Now, I understand that you have a conflict of interest.
correct.
And obviously, you're trying to have things continue as they were.
I'm not. That is a
Oh,
false
no, no,
information.
no, no,
I am
that-
the one. Hold on, Jesse. I'm going to speak to it.
Go ahead.
I am the one that brought forth the policy change to make it clear that it wasn't allowed. We all sat here in this room. It is recorded on Mad TV.
Well, that was
Hold on.
after the fact you were called on the carpet.
I wasn't called on the carpet, and I have never sat at this table and said that I didn't allow it. I flat out said that I did allow it because it was the custom of boards prior, and I thought that we were all on the same page with the policy. We were not, which is why I made the attempt to change the policy to make it so that it would not happen.
Okay.
Those are the facts.
Okay. So now you're pleading ignorance of the facts
I'm-
in the history of the situation.
I'm not pleading ignorance. I am saying that it happened with prior boards. The assumption that it was okay going forward per our policy. I was wrong. That happens. I came down here and attempted to adjust the policy to right the wrong.
Okay, so we can't continue with that in order to solve the whole situation? You
My
only want to
point-
go just so far?
My point is that we cannot get monetary reimbursement. We cannot take any action against employees. We cannot take any action against prior boards. So we are essentially setting $8,000 on fire, and I am not okay with that.
So where are you getting this set of rules that you can't get recompense, that you can't do
Our
anything,
attorney.
you can't do? Well,
Well,
there's more than one attorney in the
Right, but
world,
if I
and for
could s-
everything, there's a second side which is equal and different.
If I could speak to that, I mean, I think we'd already agreed we're not going to terminate employees or ask for money back from employees, but, I mean, I think we've agreed to that, so it was unnecessary to have the attorney confirm that because we already agreed to it, but the attorney based his opinion on the fact that the entire board knew the whole time.
No, he did not.
That's how I read it.
Okay.
But again, here
The
we
attorney
are.
based his opinion on the fact that prior boards knew. That is the point that's being missed.
He said everybody knew, I have not known.
Previous boards were aware of these situations happening and allowed it to happen, which makes it common practice. Whether wrong or right, we all know it's wrong. It was common practice.
Okay, up until this point, I look like I'm vengeful. I don't want anybody to be fired. But I don't want any money recompense. That's water over the dam. But what I do want is to solve this situation, not on your say-so, but on the ground, in the DPW building. That's where I want it solved.
And that is why we are making the policy changes and asking
I'm
the
good.
townspeople if
I've
they'd like to
still got a few
investigate.
years, so I'll be holding you to it.
That's fine.
Um,
We got
Is
a
it
couple.
still public?
It
comment?
certainly is.
Oh,
I'm not gonna hold anybody back. Linda, go ahead.
Oh.
They've given you the floor.
Okay, I think you can hear me from here. Linda Haver. I try to follow stuff. Sometimes I come to the meeting, sometimes I watch it on TV. I was here the night that you decided, and it was Joe who recommended the 8,000, I think, and I felt I don't want to spend the money, but I think in order to have the job done the way it needs to be done, it would need to be that amount of money. I don't want to spend money, but is it legal to do what they've been doing?
No.
No. The bottom line is, it's just not
It's-
legal. Or,
Hold on.
okay,
According to our attorney, it is not that it is not legal, it is frowned upon, and we all agree that it is wrong, and that's why we are trying to stop it.
but I think that what we need to do, and it may be because I'm a teacher, I believe in positive, negative consequences, whatever. I just feel like, and you guys might not want to believe this, but your board, people don't trust you guys, okay? I mean, I think if you did an investigation, you put the money into it, everybody's gonna come out okay. No one's gonna lose their job, you know, like you said, none of that's gonna happen. But then people, it can be made very clear, so it will never happen again. Because unless things like that happen, people tend to work the system or whatever. I think for the benefit of everybody, there needs to be an investigation. I'm very disappointed that it went to a warrant article. I thought it had been all settled.
So
I wouldn't have been here tonight until I saw the
The
paper.
reason it went to a warrant article is because I had numerous people approach me saying they weren't interested in saving the money, and I felt like with the letters that we had asking for it and the number of people I had telling me they didn't want to spend the money, the best way to go forward was allow the people to decide.
I'm sorry, why is that your decision from the board level?
It's-
Hang on. You've got a board of 5 people. My understanding of your job as the chairman is that you're a facilitator of the meeting
Correct.
and you get to run parades. That's my understanding. What I observe in this room all the time is you coming in and making decisions and then everybody else basically rubber stamping them. That's what it looks like. And that's what you did with this.
No.
The
hold
board,
on,
wait a
hold-
minute,
no,
the board
hold
had
on.
made the decision at this meeting 2 weeks ago, and you planned the whole thing last Tuesday. The whole thing was planned.
I didn't. Oh, hold on.
Can I speak?
Hold on, you can, 1 second. What I did was make a motion on the floor to move the money. I did not do anything other than make a motion, which is, hold on, let me finish, which is the prerogative of any member of this board to do so. I made a motion, it was seconded, and then voted on. It wasn't me doing anything, it was this board in its entirety making a decision.
It wasn't the board in the entirety, it was you. The board had agreed 2 weeks ago.
And
You sat here and agreed 2 weeks ago
Yes.
that
Well,
this is
all
what
right.
you were doing. You took your own solo move on that.
I made
And that gets back to what I said. You're a facilitator. You don't get to do that.
I-
You're supposed to work as a board together.
And we did, I made a motion. Charlie?
Well, I've heard
Name, please.
Name.
Charles Allen. Heard a lot of people say it's legal, it's not legal. If you really check RISA, state of New Hampshire leaves it up to the municipalities to decide how to deal with personal use of town equipment. Now, RISA does have a regulation that if they do not follow your regulation, then you can take action.
Correct.
And I ask everybody, we spend $8,000 and we find out who are we gonna sue? Okay, really, the people that are wrong were the selectmen. The selectmen should have had a policy on how to use town equipment. They didn't do it.
So
Now
municipal,
people in the town find that what was the status quo is not what they want. So then it's your job to change that policy, enforce it. With the same breath, I still believe that there's somebody in this organization that's unbiased, that can have a conversation with everybody at the DPW and understand what was going on, and then tell them, hey, this is the way it's gonna go. And then if you don't follow it, then here are your consequences. Spending $8,000, you're not gonna get it. Okay? You can't sue anybody.
Go ahead, Nick, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Alright, a lot of people,
Name.
Hey, no.
Name.
Austin Thomas,
Austin,
a lot of people say
speak this way, please.
that, that I was coerced by Adam to go to the budget hearing and bring up the MRI investigation. I'm a taxpayer. I bought my house 5 years ago. I grew up right there. So for them to make accusations saying that I was coerced is false. And one of the selectmen went to my brother, Joy, this is you, and insinuated that I was coerced by Mr. Price to go there and ask those questions.
I did not.
Oh, there we go.
Mr. McKenna?
Paul McKenna. Formally handling things like this 20 years ago when I was in the workforce, what would happen is, right now, what I would suggest is, you guys do an investigation. You look at the law. If I understand it correctly, the law says you cannot borrow equipment.
No, it doesn't.
Like I said, if I understand it correctly.
Municipal budget law, RSA 32, I think 8 talks about appropriations that cannot be made without town approval, and by town I mean a vote at town meeting. But I still ran it by the attorney, and I mentioned it in a meeting several weeks ago, that someone had asked me, or that I asked the attorney, if the town voted to allow personal use of town equipment, could it be used? And he said no.
So just hear me out, please. Hypothetically, if that's the story, you guys do an investigation and you find out if the law is broken. You investigate it and you vote on it. Doesn't cost anybody anything.
Well, I think the problem I have with it is that, that management and leadership said it was okay. So people were
Well-
doing what management and leadership told them to do, so do I think leadership should be leading an investigation into this? No.
Okay. Well, normally then, beyond that, there has to be some code of discipline. Hypothetically, a written warning, a second written warning, and then a day off, 3 days off, etc. Dismissal. I think it should be all handled in-house here.
You bet.
Hold on, I've got, Jesse, before you speak, I've got someone else that wants, do you mind just coming in so we can all see you?
I'm here, I'm back. John Aruda, sat behind that table for 25 years. Had almost the very same subject come up. We used MRI. They're gonna use every bit of that money you give them, and then some. They're gonna make recommendations that you and your attorney, which will cost you money, is gonna happen. I suggest you do this thing in-house. I've lived through MRI. They're a money-making organization. They do great work. But we're trying to drive a thumbtack with a sledgehammer. This whole process should be done in-house. There is a policy, by the way, that says it's a 3-strike you're out policy. Verbal warning, written warning, third time, see ya. It's in our policy. If you
It's a
guys wanna look
discipline
it up.
policy.
What's that?
Discipline, John, it's a discipline policy is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I have trouble disciplining
No.
people who were doing what their boss told them to do, or what
Yeah,
leadership
right.
told them
Then
to do.
then it goes to the boss.
Yes,
But
it does, it comes to this table.
you can't change the past. You
Hold
have
on,
to
we
discipline
gotta do
forward.
one at a time, I'm sorry, just
So
to keep
I
it.
just wanna make this short and sweet. It's gonna cost you more than 8,000. It's gonna ruin the morale of it. Just calling people in is, it becomes an investigation rather than a conversation. And when you do that, you just demoralize people, and I see it. I mean, I work for the town. I've been in that transfer station 5 years. Boy, I hear a lot. They still think I'm sitting here, and I'm doing that. I'm done.
That was the original plan, was to do it internally.
Do it.
So
But-
why don't we just do it?
Who can do it?
Right.
Hold on, we're gonna let Mr. Bowie have his turn here before we.
We had, as a board, agreed to have Chief do it. Came to the next meeting, I brought it up, and you said no. After we had approved it, and it's now open for everyone to see, somehow between then and now, you decided that wasn't good enough, and we had to go to MRI. We said, why don't we have Chief Hayford talk with the boys, figure out what happened, and have him.
Yeah, go back and roll tape, that wasn't the sequence of events.
That
Can I
wasn't,
just
that wasn't
finish?
tape.
I'll get out of
He's not
here.
Go ahead,
finished, I
Tom.
don't think.
I mean, one other thing, which you haven't mentioned yet, you may need MRI, and I don't know how that warrant article is written. If it's specific to an investigation, you've got a town report to put together. Time is running out. You have a time period that books gotta be printed, they gotta be handed out to people, and right now you guys are behind the 8 ball. I'm telling you that right now. You can use that MRI money better spent getting us ready for town meeting. And you can discuss that.
Well, I have a proposal to save $8,000, and that is that board members who knew what was going on when, just answer us right now, and we all move on.
What do you wanna know?
How many times have you approved personal use of town equipment?
Once.
Wait, can I just make a motion?
Would that be
Can
the
we-
excavator,
can we
or
go
would that
out-
be the
wait,
dumpster?
Can we finish the public
Yeah.
comment and not, before we
Yep,
move
yep.
into other discussion?
Go ahead, Mr.
Because
Wall.
people are waiting.
Mike Morrow, 1838 Plains Road. My only question is, why 3 years? Why not 5 years? Why not 10 years? This has been going on since this town started. Anybody that sits in this room and says it hasn't been is wrong, okay? So why 3 years exactly? And who came up with the 3-year plan versus 5 or 10 or 20?
What 3 years are you talking about?
The going back 3 years for the investigation.
That was discussed in a non-public that wasn't released.
Oh, no, I think it was released.
Not 3 years,
not
no?
public.
What I'm saying is, there's no reason,
Well, that's a
there's
problem.
no reason that this expenditure of money, if there's no outcome, you're writing a rule, you're writing a new policy for employees, which is a great idea, and there'll be consequences for whatever. But to go deeper and spend money where you could use it, well, like Mr. Ruda just said, you can use it to put the book together, you can use it for employee raises, you can use it for anything you want. And $8,000 is not nothing. That's, to me, that's quite a bit of money. Where, especially since, you know, each of the department heads were asked to cut back on their budgets and such, and okay, and that's probably a good idea. Try to keep the tax rate down, try to keep the budget down. But just to come out and spend $8,000 for, and what is the end game? Is what can happen if there's no punishment, because nothing existed prior? I agree, there should be a whole slew of regulations for using it here forward, and there should be the warning and the termination or whatever, the written warning, verbal warning. But what what can come of this? I'm just confused again. You can explain to me what can come of it, and what is the, I've said it before, and apparently, you know, Facebook is Facebook, but apparently it wasn't liked that I asked what was the end game. Other than some,
The end game is to know who at
anybody
this
here
board
that
knew
can
what
answer.
when. And I think, you know, the fact that somebody discussed a non-public conversation with you is evidence that we as a board are divided and apparently sharing things. So a non-public conversation went to you. With whom did you discuss that?
Not with anybody in this room. And it was at the transfer station, but it wasn't with any member of the transfer station, so.
Linda Haver. I don't think it's about the money.
Hold on.
I think,
Linda,
I
sorry,
don't
you-
think,
you-
I
this
don't
way.
think it's about the money. I don't think there is an end game. I think the end game for you guys is, if you want to stay selectmen, is maybe we will start to trust you more. I think that there's a lot of mistrust, and I don't think we're naturally distrustful people, but when you hear this stuff, it's like a no-brainer. Let's get to the bottom of this. Let's find out what happened. Nobody's gonna get fired, nobody's gonna lose money, unless each of you wanna just say, okay, and so that we save the town money, we each give up our, whatever you make for being a selectman, and forfeit that to cover the investigation. I just feel like you need to do something to restore trust.
Any other public comment?
I wish, if I'm the last one to speak, I'd like to address people to see the dynamic that sets in front of us here. It's 2 against 3.
Jesse,
And so,
Jesse.
that's what we're dealing
it's
with.
gotta come this way. Just per our procedure, the comments have to
I
come to
wanna
the
make
board.
sure they hear me.
Yeah,
I don't have to look at you.
you don't have to look at me, but per our procedure, the comments have to come to the board.
Look at the camera. Who do you think I was talking
You
to?
can look right there if you'd
Who
like.
do you think I was talking to? Him?
Mr. Allen?
I think the best thing the board could do is come up with a solid policy to enforce the use of town equipment going forward.
That's down the road.
I think that's done.
Which is on our agenda,
Like
and
this gentleman said here, I've been in this town for 30 years, I'm in the construction business. We know what's been happening. But as a
What do you
person, did we know that it was against town policy or not? No. But the selectmen were letting it go, the DPW letting it go. Most of the people that were doing it are gone. So what are we gonna do, fire the whole board? I think that's up to a town vote. But to
I
come
still don't know
forward,
what happened when.
You know,
I've been on this board for 2 years.
yeah,
And
well.
I still don't know.
I think between me and him, we could probably come up with a list of about 100 instances going back 30 years.
Yeah. What's
You
your
know
name?
what I do.
You know, I'm Charles Allen.
No, put your name in for selectman.
he did.
He did.
He did.
Yeah, good luck.
Marcia Shackford, 597 East Madison Road. I would like to know how, have each one of you select persons tell me that if you have been to the New Hampshire Municipal Training for Select Board.
Yes.
Jake, I'd like to start with you.
Yes.
Yes, Marcia?
Yes.
No, because I was not elected, I was appointed.
You weren't elected. Okay. My next question would be, did they cover things like this?
Each session covers different topics. So there's a session every spring,
We need to go to more than one.
but yes, each session covers different topics. They don't hit on it. I think it's impossible to hit on every single thing.
Oh, okay. So how?
Well, actually,
my
part of
next
the
question-
book that we received is the knowing the territory, I think is what it's called, and that talks about appropriations and how appropriations can and cannot be spent. So yes, that was part of our training.
Okay, so how many sessions did each of you attend? Jake?
One in whatever it was. April.
I've been to 2.
April.
The one when I was elected.
Okay, Thank you very much.
All right.
So you mentioned, you knew of one instance which is contradictory to a previous meeting when you said you'd received several phone calls. So, without naming names or identifying, individuals, what instances did you know of?
An instance of an employee using a piece of town equipment at their home. You don't want me to get into names. I had our DPW director at the time call me and say that per policy, he was giving permission but needed to notify a board member. I was in Portland at the mall at the time.
So you mentioned that was an excavator.
Loader, I believe.
Okay, you mentioned the meeting excavator.
It was one of the two, but yes.
Okay, so you weren't aware of that October use of a town?
Prior to this board bringing it up, no.
Okay. Were you aware of ball field soil going to an individual's house?
No. Not till just this moment.
You're aware of the transfer station glass?
I was aware of that after it was brought up at this meeting by Mr. Shackford, I believe.
Are you aware of DPW equipment being used by non-DPW employees at Old Home Week?
I mean, DPW committee used, or the Old Home Week committee used a hill to drill some holes.
I understand they used heavy equipment.
It's possible, but not to my recollection. We usually use a tractor. I believe it was Mr. Jones's tractor.
And what about any equipment used to work on other projects on weekends?
Not to my knowledge.
Wasn't the ball field?
On the weekends?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I believe Jonathan brought in his own equipment this was a while ago, but eventually. And that was a town project.
Was the equipment at Old Home Week or in the ball field operated by a trained, insured DPW employee?
No.
That's a problem.
Okay. And it doesn't need to happen going forward. Am I not allowed to ever be wrong? That seems like the end game here. We were working on a town project.
I don't know who, but someone apparently who wasn't, were they even an employee?
No.
So we had a non-employee driving DPW equipment. So that's a liability issue.
Yep.
That's not how we can operate.
Okay. So it won't happen going forward. That's not a problem. Anyway.
Can I make one last comment?
Sure.
I don't do the last. Tom Rainfus. I think the whole problem, as it's appearing to me in several places, is the transparency that is not here. You know, when mistakes are made or something, somebody's got to stand up and say it was a mistake and we've got to do something about it, not try to push it away. Get it out in the open. There's so much talk going around in this town right now, it's hard to walk down the street without somebody asking you, well, what do you think? That's not good. It's a small town. We're not a huge city. We've got to live here together. And if you guys aren't putting out all the information, then it's a problem. It's a big, big problem. So that's all I've got to say. One more.
Oh. Mr. Forrest.
Ron Forrest, 187 Marston Avenue. Adam, I think you hit the nail on the head at the beginning of the meeting. And in my 22 years in Madison, I agree with you. So to point the fingers at this particular board is wrong. This has been a culture for years, if not decades. And the people have voiced their opinion. The selectmen now have listened to them, and they're now trying to reconcile this issue. which has been going on for many, many years. So with that in mind, I've heard different comments from different selectmen tonight about the direction forward. And I think I agree with most of the people here that an investigation is necessary, but I don't think it needs to be external. I think we've got enough talent in this town to find a group, small group of people, whether it be maybe a selectman and a DPW representative, but just look at what's happened and say, what's happened in the past, it's water over the dam. It's gone by. We need to change the culture and do the right thing in the future. And my question right now is, I'm a little bit confused as to what direction the board is headed. If you could clarify that for us and for the viewing audience, that would be very helpful.
Later on our agenda, we have this subject as an agenda item under old business and a new policy to adopt to make it clear going forward that personal use of town property is not acceptable, and every employee will get a copy of this, and it will, I believe they have to sign it, I don't remember exactly what the policy is, but every employee will get a copy of the policy once we adopt it, and it'll go in our personnel policy.
But is the board going to submit a formal warrant article at the annual meeting?
It is
Yes.
already on there, we've already submitted it, the
So-
warrant is complete.
Is that the path going forward at this point?
As far as, yeah, I mean, it's up to the people at this point as
Was
to
it
whether.
$8,000
Is up
price
to-
tag?
Up to.
Up to.
And I believe the way it's kind of a mock contract that they send us, we can pull out at any time if we feel like we have sufficient information. And I think the preservation of morale was the reason why we didn't want to be involved. Because it's, it just degrades the morale of this employees, and to protect them, just gathering information, having somebody sit or call or whatever, however they would do it, I don't know. And then write down the facts and draw here's your report, this is what happened when. That's all we were looking for. Because as some of you brought up, the lack of trust at the board level, another thing going back decades,
Right.
is what we're trying to right now.
Yes.
For decades, I see a lot of nodding
Which is a
heads.
good thing.
We're not,
That's a good thing.
the board hasn't been trusted
Yeah.
to help, to be transparent. I mean, I know I really try to help one person that asked me for help. I mean, sitting before a room of people and a hallway of people asking for help with this situation is reason not to say no. I mean, it's a room full, not even just one person approaching me. So, I don't know, it just seems like there's two things trying to happen. Find out the facts and start to work towards more transparency, more approachability, more trust in our board. Basically, that's how I see it.
And I've heard from multiple employees, previous employees of town, that they said, no, it was never allowed. They were given the phone number to Coleman's to go rent something. So that's contradictory to it's been going on and allowed for 20 years. So I don't know what the truth is there. And then, finding out about confirming, I guess, that there has been town equipment used by non-employees is a whole other ball of wax that we're now hearing about and confirming. And I hate that. I hate that lack of transparency. I hate that some people sitting at this table know stuff and have not been transparent since this came up 4 months ago. So my trust is shattered, and I don't know how to move forward internally.
Right. Sharon?
I just have a procedural question regarding, I'm sorry, Sharon Schilling, Bickford Road. So it was new Article 24. We did not have the wording, the final wording for this. It was, what I jotted down was to raise and appropriate $8,000 for the purpose of paying for an investigation into the personal use of town property. If this should get voted on the floor and get voted down, you remove the ability to ever pay for an investigation should it end up being warranted, and even if the entire board agrees, because you vote down this warrant article, you can't propose a new warrant article to pay and use town money to pay for an investigation into the personal use of town property.
I think it could, before this, it could be added into, I think it's Article 7, added back into Article 7, the operating budget, because that is what was agreed upon, that we would do this. And I feel like moving it out into, separate warrant article is a double-edged sword. Because on one hand, the people get their say, but on the other hand, they may not want to spend $8,000 and vote it down completely, and that will be taken to mean they don't want an investigation, which I also think is not necessarily true. So we could probably add money back into the operating budget, or agree to do it under the existing, the budget as it is, will be presented at town meeting. Whatever that legal line is, we would just have to, take money from elsewhere, but, or do it for the amount already in that line. I think people voting down the warrant article doesn't mean they don't want it, it just means they don't want it that way.
Let's start with that.
Patty Carano, you're talking about letting the voters decide and all this transparency over $8,000. However, we could spend $500,000 without the voters deciding or any transparency. Finding this a little funny, especially where it was already agreed upon, and now it's a bait and switch. Let's make it a warrant article. Let the voters decide. How noble. That's all.
Don?
Hi, Donna Bailey. Looking at the complexities of the layout of the warrant articles, would this board be opposed to moving Article 24 before Article 7? And that way
I believe.
they would know if they needed to put it back in the budget?
I believe because we already have the approval from DRA on the warrant, that we would need to do that on the floor. We would have to ask the moderator to do that.
So placement?
Yeah, because the warrant's been approved by DRA, I believe someone at town meeting would need to motion that on the floor to vote on that article first.
Anyone to move it up.
Anyone can. It would have to happen on the floor at town meeting.
You know that for sure?
Because it's been approved by DRA, we don't have the time to resubmit and get everything done in time for the posting dates.
Okay. So, I suspect that might happen. Would this board support something of that nature?
I don't think it would be up to us. I think it would be
Yeah,
voted on and
Absolutely, the vote that,
yeah, whatever the people want.
You need to get the vote of the floor, but my question is would this board support a maneuver like that?
If that's what the people wanted.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
If that's what the
Okay.
people want, that's what we do.
Okay, I mean, it's a solution,
Yep.
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Thank you.
I was done, but the question or the statement was brought up. So, just to make it clear for me, if the town votes it down, it doesn't preclude the board or the town from doing its own internal investigation, correct?
Correct.
Okay, because I just want to make sure that it didn't kill it.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm always open to suggestions as to who would do
Right.
that.
No, I understand. If it was said that if they voted down, then that would kill the investigation.
It would.
I just want to know.
It would preclude us from spending money on outside services
Okay.
this year.
Okay,
Unless we could do it within the existing legal line in the operating budget.
okay, that's fine.
Sorry.
You're good.
I understand everybody wanting to have this internal investigation or whatever, or keep it in-house, but aren't you guys like Chief Hayford's bosses? You're
Yeah.
you're his boss. So it's really if he's the one to do it, it's putting him in a really uncomfortable, not a good position.
I don't
So-
think it can be an employee who does it.
So, yeah, so that's how I'm trying to figure out who is this gonna do, this internal investigation? That's why it seemed like the outside group was the better option. And, I mean, I've just had some experiences with the school system, with lack of transparency and conflicts of interest. It's not pretty. You wanna make sure everything is clear and transparent. And so I just don't understand who would do the internal investigation.
And I think another point that the attorney made was that, we can't get money back from employees, but he didn't say anything about the select board.
moving on. There is an item missing from our agenda. Do we want to put it at the top or the bottom? How do we want to handle it?
I don't know what item we're
It's
missing.
The resignation and the ad.
Oh, the ad we're gonna write?
Let's knock that one out.
We have to get it done. I mean, I thought we had some.
Well, he just wants to do one on the top of the agenda or the bottom of the agenda. I
Roll
said
the
put, I
dice.
said put it on the
I don't want
top.
to look
Roll the
like I'm not
dice.
leading the parade here.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I say go to the top with it.
So there's no book, and you'll find out why in a minute.
We done public comment?
We are done with public comment. We have a letter of resignation here. Dear Chairman Price, please accept this letter as formal notification that I am resigning from my position as town administrator after 10.5 years of service to the town. My final day of employment will be February 12th, 2026. This decision has not been made lightly. While I have valued my professional relationships built during my tenure and I am grateful for the community connections and friendships formed, the current working conditions have made it unbearable for me to continue in this role. There cannot be an expectation that employees should endure the level of poor treatment and disrespect that has become commonplace. In most professional offices, it is customary to give the same respect that you receive. Unfortunately, that is a one-way street in Madison. I have shown every selectman that I have worked with the utmost respect, and I have not received the same in return. The ongoing lack of respect, trust, and confidence shown toward department heads and staff by certain members of the select board and other acting in official capacity has created an environment that is both discouraging and unwarranted. Effective municipal governance requires mutual respect, support, collaboration, and professionalism. Conditions that, regrettably, have been absent. Additionally, the frequent use of the word transparency when convenient while simultaneously operating in a manner that promotes anonymity over accountability has further eroded trust within the organization. Transparency should apply consistently and responsibly, not selectively. Anonymity is not transparent. Notably, those using the word the most frequently are the least transparent in their own conduct. As outlined in the town's personnel policy, I have accrued 10 weeks of vacation time. I expect this accrued balance to be paid out in my final paycheck in accordance with policy. Change is difficult. Lately, the more things change, the worse they get. One has to wonder how bad things need to get before the objective has been achieved. I sincerely hope that meaningful reflection occurs regarding the workplace culture and governance practices that have led to this decision. Sincerely, Linda Shackford. So,
Are you reading the other one too, or no?
I don't know if I have the other one. We
Yeah,
talked
he
about
gave it
that
to the newspaper, so I don't know if he has it with him.
I can go
Was
get
that
it if
in
you'd
the
like.
newspaper?
Actually, I have it
In
right
the
here.
newspaper?
And part of it was, yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
I can read the other one if you would like.
Well, I just didn't know. I thought that's what you meant by reading them. I thought you were reading both together.
Let's see if I can find it. Maybe not. I'm looking for the other resignation that they asked me to read.
I just thought I shouldn't just read one. We should read both. I mean, I might be
Absolutely.
wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you are not wrong. Let me search here. Right here. Give me a second, because this one's a lot smaller.
For your readers, Adam.
Dear Adam Price, Select Board Chairman, please accept this as my notice of resignation. As you know, I have served the town of Madison for the last 20 years as Selectman, police officer, multiple boards and committees, and most recently as a Public Works Director. It has been my honor and privilege to have done so. However, the toxic work environment that I am subject to at this point has become intolerable. Consider my resignation to be effective immediately. Sincerely, Josh Shackford. So,
We're gonna write the ad then.
we have to, I would assume this board would like to write an ad for a town administrator. I have two people over here looking to talk, so
You go first.
go ahead, Paul.
On Paul McKenna. On last meeting, you said that you had somebody that was gonna do it in the interim, an acting DPW person. I believe it was Darren, is his first name?
Dylan.
Dylan Eldridge. What background, is he a current DPW worker? What background does he have?
He's been with the DPW for 6?
7 years?
6 years.
Okay. 6 years.
6 years.
That's what I
Yep.
wanted to know. Thank you.
Okay, you
My
wanna-
turn? Oh, good, I'm up. I see how everybody was so in awe that Linda resigned, so everybody already knew, I'm assuming. So I'm gonna speak now, and my name is Kate Young, and you probably know me, or maybe you don't. I'm a resident taxpayer, and I work for the town. I've lived in this town for 33 years. I have asked for some time to speak tonight. I have some things to say which some of you may not like, and I'm expecting zero retaliation from the board and from you residents. I've been silent for 4 years, but not anymore. Firstly, let me say that I am deeply, deeply saddened that my coworker ended her tenure working for the town. And I am sure you can understand her reasons, as so noted in her resignation letter that Chairman Price just read to you all. It is disgusting and egregious how she has been publicly treated by members of the board and by residents in this town. And all of you should be ashamed of yourselves, all of you. Small government should be better than this, and all employees of this town should be treated with respect we deserve, because we all get up every morning and come to work and do what we have to do, which is servants of the town of Madison. And we all do it well. Linda deserves an apology, as well as a huge thank you for being the professional that she is, as she has always come to work every day to serve the town of Madison, and has done so for 10 years. In the last few months, she has been treated very poorly by the public and certain select board members. But in reality, asking for an apology is unheard of in these times, because as the saying goes, it's not my fault, right? Now, enough about Linda and on to me. I'm sure it will be expected that I should pick up where she left off. You're dead wrong, as I will not set myself up for failure and be the next employee profiled by a select board member, as this has been common practice of late. So I guess as you as board members will need to figure this out. Members of this board and residents talk about transparency and accountability. I really hate the word transparency, as it comes from the big government, and some people who want transparency do not practice what they preach. Let me explain the simple definition of transparency for you. The quality of being easily seen through openness, communication, accountability, and integrity. I know for a fact that there was a planning member in this town who submitted an electrical application on a particular day in the morning, and that afternoon wanted to quickly schedule an inspection, and during that conversation fessed up that to Bob Boyd that the work was completed. Obviously, if the application was still on Bob Boyd's desk, the work was not completed before a permit had been issued, which resulted in a fine. Where's the transparency and accountability, as this is the second time for this particular individual in the past 2 years? You are all calling the kettle black and should take a look at your actions. Transparency and accountability are just words unless you actually are transparent and accountable. The select board has discussed about investigations on all employees. You as a board did not even have the courtesy to explain to your employees why this is needed, and we need to spend $8,000 to do so. At first, I wasn't in agreement with this, but now I welcome it with open arms. I don't care if we cost the town $20,000, because I request to be the first one to be interviewed. I come from an extensive legal background working for local judges, attorneys, and the court system, and I would like to see an investigation on the Rec Square account. As the selectman was handling those monies, there was a discrepancy, whether negative or positive. There is no check and balance. These are people's hard-earned tax dollars, and these should be accountable. They should be accountable for these monies. There's an overage in that account and it should be figured out. The select board in the past 2 years has done 2 prior investigations by a select board member, and the findings of those investigations were unfounded. Now we have another investigation, which I'm not going to discuss, and investigations of all employees, which it was said at an earlier select board meeting to fire them all. That was said probably about 4 months ago. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? And now it's been in the paper that we are going to have an investigation against Adam Price. Thank you, Doug. And furthermore, it was said at the deliberative session that you want to know if this gentleman was a taxpayer. Would you like to see his tax card and his tax bill? Because he is, Doug. That was out of line.
Sorry.
Totally out of line.
What's the question?
It was a snide question.
Yep.
very snide. You know, the accusers that make accusations of people are usually the parties that are doing the wrongdoing. Is that enough?
Thank you, Kate.
Thanks, Kate.
Before we move forward with the ad, and I'm gonna say this for me and not for the board, I doubt she's watching, but I want to send a deep thank you to Linda Shackford for her service to this town. We lost a wealth of institutional knowledge that I'm not sure we can get back through any hiring, and it disheartens me to see her go. She has been an asset to this town for 10 years.
Absolutely.
I agree.
I agree.
We need to do this.
Maybe get some ideas, you know, put together a thank you letter and make sure it gets to Linda,
Absolutely.
because we all feel the same way.
Unfortunately, we do have to post an ad.
Madam, may I, Donna Bayou? I would like to respond to Kate's comments, but I will do it one-on-one.
Oh, we can do it in do it open.
Well,
I'm more than happy to do it here.
You said all of us. When have I ever shown disrespect to Linda?
I said all of you in a context that should be ashamed of yourselves because of the way she's been treated.
When have I shown?
Did I say your name, Donna?
Well, you said all
Hold
of
on,
us.
guys.
Right.
Guys.
So,
All right, Donna,
I'm
hold
asking you.
on. If you have public
I'm
comment,
asking a question. I've
I
been
understand
offended. I have never shown Linda any disrespect,
I'm just not.
and I've been
looking-
accused of it. And I just want to know the rationale behind that. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I was misinterpreted. Kate, could you help me
I
out
just
here?
don't want to see the meeting get out of hand.
It will get out of hand, so we're gonna
Well,
drop
that's
it.
why I wanted
We're
to do
gonna-
it one-on-one.
We're gonna drop it.
Okay,
Oh,
it's a, I'm not telling you no. I'm gonna ask you to save public comment to the end when I open it back up so that we can move forward with the agenda. That's all.
Okay, so I had a question, that's all.
Right. We need to come up with an ad.
I have the job description, I'm kind of highlighting certain elements that I think would be good to put in the ad.
All right, while she does that, do we wanna throw out ideas of where to put the ad?
Yep.
Well, definitely New Hampshire Municipal.
New Hampshire municipals.
The sun, obviously.
Anywhere, like do we use Indeed or something like that?
Yes.
We do use, what's the other one, ZipRecruiter? Indeed and ZipRecruiter? Or Job Recruiter?
Do we have an account with you? I'm not sure.
I have no
I have no
idea.
idea. You could just, I think,
Yeah.
I don't know how it works, if you, as a poster, have to,
Right, maybe not.
yeah.
So we have New Hampshire Municipal, Conway Daily Sun, and Indeed. Are those
Independent.
Carroll County Independent? Carroll County Independent.
I think it's all digital now.
Okay.
I don't think they do it printed.
Is it even open still?
I think it went. The last I knew, when this was years ago, was that it was all digital. I don't know if it's still a thing. We'll look into it, I suppose.
So that's 5.
I think
That's probably.
that's probably good.
Does when you no, it doesn't. I was gonna say it doesn't go to Berlin and Laconia when you go to Conway.
No,
you go
no.
there, pay for each one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you have to post them
maybe,
separately.
maybe
You
Laconia.
do, because I just put an ad up north and I have to pay differently.
Okay.
All right, so New Hampshire Municipal, Conway Daily Sun, Indeed, and the Carroll County Independent. Does that make
Sounds good
sense?
to me.
Yep.
None of them are free, I don't think. Just an FYI.
No.
Joe may have some.
Just a, Chairman, just a quick question. Is there any consideration to maybe using a professional recruiter? I mean, we used to use them at Raytheon, headhunters to find people. I'm not sure what services are available here, but a lot of times, they may have somebody who specializes in that kind of administrative recruiting.
I think New Hampshire Municipal will be.
Or New
will-
Hampshire Municipal.
I think
Okay,
that'll
that's-
help,
that's
that'll
the
help
only
with that.
comment I
Yep.
have.
I'm just wondering if we delegate somebody to create the ad and then meet again, as opposed to trying to all 5 of us put together an ad on a piece of paper.
We can do that.
I would
I
say
can pass around what I've highlighted.
we'd have to meet sooner
Right.
because
No, yeah.
it's gotta go out right away.
Um,
And in terms of the duties, I'm gonna pass that around. Just highlighting the
Did you get a
key points.
email from MRI?
I mean, voicemail.
I did get a voicemail from MRI, but it was not that funny.
Mr. Chairman?
I don't know.
Sharon Shilling. I just have a
There's a
question. Do we have
bunch of
any
them,
HR
okay.
professionals in town that might be willing to help review the job posting before it goes out, or any of those kinds of things on a volunteer basis? So it wouldn't take much time. It would probably take 15 minutes, half an hour of their time just to review it, to make sure it encompasses everything you want it to and it's all right and proper.
Possibly.
I don't have that.
I don't have
I left
anybody
that
off the
right
top of my head.
behind
What was that?
I can find it out.
See if there's any professionals in town, could help.
Toss it out there on the website.
So we
Can I
want-
see what you highlighted real quick, Joy?
Yeah.
Would it make more sense to put the ad out with, oh, sorry, Jake.
That's all right.
I wasn't ignoring you. With the position, the hours, and potential pay range,
A range based on experience.
based on experience, and then say contact the town for a copy of the job description?
I think the job
rather-
description will go on the website like we do for other job
Or
postings.
job descriptions listed on the website.
Oh, that's another place we should put it.
On the website, yeah, but it would, just because I know it's gonna cost hundreds to try to put all that verbiage.
Yeah, it wouldn't. Yeah.
In an ad,
Nope.
would it make, can we just make an ad that says Town of Madison seeking town administrator?
Administrator.
These are the hours, this is the pay range,
Yes.
Depending on, yeah, qualifications.
Yep.
see,
Like- I feel like pay should be dependent on experience. I don't think we should be specific yet.
You can't, I don't.
no, yeah, that's fine,
You
just,
have to put a range,
you
or
can,
nobody will apply if you don't have, I see it all the time when there's somebody looking for, if they don't put their like, well, nobody's gonna apply to that if you don't have some sort of range, even if it's like 55 to 70, depending on, whatever. It's like, if you don't, it's just, it's again, it's not.
they wanna know what they're
transparent.
getting themselves into.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
High,
So we come up with a range, I'm just suggesting here, we come up with a range, somebody, Joy or Nicole, maybe you're better with making the ad
Yeah. What are you
than
trying to
say
say?
myself.
You're more tech savvy.
I don't know about the tech side, that's all right.
But maybe we can,
Yeah.
we come up with the range, and then whoever decides to makes the ad, and we decide to have a meeting maybe Thursday after the rec meeting to approve the ad,
Yep.
and then we put it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Sounds good to me.
Also, since she's here, Sharon, if you had some, as ABC, did you envision something, because they were gonna work on salary ranges for all our positions?
Right.
If you had, now's the time to say something, even if it's $10,000 to $15,000 range, like, if you have some sort of clue as to what you might think that would look like.
No, because that was sort of all put on hold
I
through
know,
the budget
I know.
season, and so,
Okay,
you know, we
just
haven't even
checking.
gone. You can go into like I think New Hampshire Municipal
Municipal,
Association
yeah,
actually
okay.
has data
Okay.
that categorizes jobs throughout the entire state,
Yeah.
and it can give you some of those ranges based on, you know, like a town administrator in a large town versus a town
Population.
administrator in a small town, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You can go and pull all that data. I'm happy
Yeah.
to work on trying
Yeah.
to do that for you.
I was just curious.
And
Maybe
they'll also
whoever-
have job postings,
Yeah.
so we
Maybe
can see what other towns are charging.
whoever
offering.
creates the ad can come up with that range and we can decide if it's correct when
Yeah.
we meet on Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody else. So what month are we even in? I don't know why I do this to myself.
We had February, my friend.
I know.
19.
Not for long.
Yeah, so the rec meets at 5:30 on Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
Wednesday or
Thursday, sorry, Thursday.
True.
Could we meet at 6:30?
I have to check my calendar when I get home, but I will chime back in. And is that in this room?
Yeah.
Thursday, 6:30?
Yeah. Does that?
Yeah, that should be.
That should be fine for me.
And I'll be here anyway with the
And
rec, so.
I have no idea without looking at home.
And that is an open meeting, not a non-public
Yeah, that's a
session.
public, just a public meeting.
Yeah.
And Asia, if you would kindly
Do you
let
want me here?
Matt TV know that we're here.
Do you
Right, and,
want
we would
me
love to
here
have you
to
here.
record?
We would love to have
The
you.
question is, do you want to be here?
I don't think any of us want to take minutes.
Well, that should be one subject, so it should be.
Yeah, it's just that one,
Right.
it's just the
Yeah.
ad.
So if you can't, don't like feel like we can't.
Yeah.
Thursday the
If you're not
19th.
available, we'll make it
Thursday
work.
the 19th at 6:30
But
p.m.
yes, here, yep.
Matt TV can be
Yeah.
here because we're filming rec.
Right, so just hang out. Yep. And I'll make sure the rec's out of here by 6:30.
Okay.
Good?
Sounds good.
Perfect. Mr. Dame, for the
Sir.
Silver Lake Dam Grant Funding.
Jake, Adam, Jim, Joy, Nicole, Joe Dame, hey, most people know me. I'd like to change the direction of our discussion right now towards
Thank you.
the Silver Lake Dam. I found some potential funding sources for the dam that maybe it's a federal, it's called the FY 2027 Community Funding Request. And Congressman Chris Pappas, each year he sponsors community projects in New Hampshire. And we qualify under one. I've already spoken with several of his staffers. They're very supportive of Madison. And it would fall under the Department of Agriculture, Natural Resources Conservation Services. And it would, it's for lakes, water improvement, erosion control, that type of thing. And to reduce damages by floods and other natural disasters. Last year, the average award was $1.3 million. And both Victoria and Colin are encouraging us to apply. They think it's a worthy project. Again, there's no guarantees. Once it goes to the Congressman's office, it goes to Washington to the House Ways and Means Committee. It's bundled together with other projects from across the country. And hopefully, our money request will be included in the federal FY 27 budget. I sat in on a meeting this morning with Senator Shaheen's office in regard to the senator's funding of similar projects. And since she's been senator, she's brought in over $400 million to towns and cities in New Hampshire for projects like this, police, fire, equipment, that type of thing. What I'm asking is one of my tasks under the Advisory Budget Committee. I'd like to continue to work with Victoria and Colin to see if I can get an application, a competitive application in. It's due March 6th. I know, but.
God bless you, Joe.
Yeah. No, we can do it, and I'm willing to do the legwork on it. There's no cost, as you notice, in it for federal grants and that type of thing. The range I was looking for, since that was the average, I was going to ask for $1 million to $1.2 million, and that would cover about 50% of the Silver Lake Dam, or the estimated cost. What
So
we
you
think.
have an estimate?
It's just based on some of the studies. That's one of the. I'm going to need some help from Selectmen Joy or others. I'd like to pull together the previous reports from the state and the engineering firms that have done the work, just to get an idea where we're going. I did research it on the American Dam Association, that type thing, and they're looking about the $2 to $3 million range for a dam of that size. The issue is now that the dam standards are changing because of climate change. And they used to plan to a 100-year, flood. And now we saw even in 2023 here with the torrential rains, that wiped out Colby, Mooney Hill, and 113. So, we may have to bring the dam up to the new standards. And I don't know, we do have money in the budget this year, for the drawing packages, kind of moving forward with the engineering.
Could you give me some kind of scope of work that one could pull together, a conceptual estimate?
Yeah, we're not there yet, Charles.
But you have enough definition of what you're trying to do.
I'm kind of working the funding side, but I think we need to pull together the information. What I'm asking for is just the board's approval to continue, reaching out to congressional sources to try to get us funding for this.
I have no problem
Absolutely.
with it.
Okay, all right.
Did you think they were gonna say no?
No, but I didn't want to, represent the town without,
Not to sound
selectmen
greedy,
approval,
Joe,
right?
but ask for two.
Yeah.
Ask for two.
Ask for
So-
two.
And also, what came up this morning, and I haven't pursued this yet, it was Sarah from Senator Shaheen's office. She led the discussion this morning. And what some of the other towns are looking for money from Shaheen's side is a salt shed. And I'm going, oh yeah.
Yep.
We need one here too. So I'd like to just kind of pursue some of these.
Yeah.
Again, there's no guarantee that we're going to get this money. It's a huge, slow, complex project, process. But at least if we get an application in there, get our name in there, almost like what happened with the New Hampshire, the clean diesel grant.
Yep.
All of a sudden, we got
We didn't think we were
$250,000.
going to, and
right?
then we did. Yep.
Okay. No, I just wanted your approval to proceed.
I also have, I have a gentleman in town who's a retired engineer who's willing to help, and another gentleman who's in construction who thinks this is in his purview. And I didn't know if you want me to, I could give you their contact information, if it helps for the three of you to look at it.
The Charles.
For
Yeah,
more
that's-
information on like what, you know what I mean?
I can
Just
get a
what-
copy of the reports.
Yeah, if we can get the
I have
reports
all
and
these.
what was
Yeah, and I have the
recommended,
reports too, all
Just-
saved.
Yeah, if I can get a copy of
Yeah.
them, I can.
and it kind of give us
Yeah.
I guess what we're looking for is kind of a broad, kind of a ballpark cost
I
estimate.
got one. Joe, I'm working with the DPW on the salt shed, so I'll touch base with you. I'm in the process of, I'll go over it later, but at least the initial plan for what we're looking for, and hopefully estimated cost so we can have a
Yeah,
idea.
fortunately, the applications don't require engineering packages, and
Right.
here's what we're
But I'm
doing.
just, hoping
They're
to have
asking
a-
for how much
a-
federal money do you
a
want.
general idea
Right.
of what the cost will be.
And there is a cost share, I think, on the dam project. The town would have to pay 20% of the total cost,
Mhm.
right? The salt shed's probably similar, like it is with the diesel grant, they cover 70% of the vehicle, right?
Yeah, if I get some information, because I know the principals and all the civil engineers.
Yeah, we'll have to move kind of quick on this, I don't want to miss this deadline.
Who's helping you on the plan and the estimating on the salt shed?
I've got a gentleman that's designing the salt shed,
Okay.
and then then that comes with the install price for the salt shed, then I'm just gonna need to get a concrete estimate once we settle on size.
Did we document the requirements?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm in the process of going through that, and I was actually gonna reach out to Councilman Kenny, but
because you'll probably have to put that out to bid, correct?
yes, I'm just looking for, all we're trying to do right now is get an estimated
I can
cost.
help you with that,
Yeah.
because that's what I do.
Yeah, that would be great, because then we can say, hey, look, we think it's gonna be, $1 million from the
Right.
salt shed. If
hope
we could get $800,000.
I hope
No, I hope it's not.
Because there are like two sets
No.
of requirements we need. We need, what the town needs for the
Mhm.
salt shed,
Yeah.
and then what meets the state, because it is state mandated.
Yes, to have
Yeah,
to have
so
the
we have to
coverage.
both of
Yes.
those.
It'd
Yeah.
be good to have some kind of dollar value, even if it's conceptual, because if you're gonna have to pay 20% of something.
Right.
Yeah.
And at least that number is, yes, then we put it out to 3 bids, and we know that chances are that number will fall in there. So we'll have an idea of where to go from there.
Oh, yeah.
But I think we can get support for, I know for the dam, anyway, because Victoria and Colin, you know, that actually put the packages together, you know, for the congressman. They were like very supportive. She's like, whatever you need, give me a call, kind of thing. So, you know, at least get that one in, then we'll look at the salt.
Yeah,
Maybe
right,
like
exactly.
change
That's
heating
no
or something.
no
All right.
rush at this point. But
Yeah.
the dam is much more important.
Yeah, I figured that was a higher
Yes,
priority,
sir.
and it's a big dollar item. So, all right.
Thank you, Joe.
No,
We
thanks.
appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your approval to let me work on it.
Run with it.
Yeah, thanks for your willingness to run with
Yes.
it. Yes.
So I have the report from Bergeron, October 15th, 2024, so a year and 4 months ago, where we had set aside $165,000, so this kind of sums up what the 165 was going to get us. H.L. Turner Group was putting together a proposal for dam engineering consulting services. Then I believe the next phase for $83,000, and then next phase of that was review of draft plans, review of project manual, test boring allowance, archaeological study, and ACOE permits, NHDES shoreland permitting, coffer dam engineering, BTS recommended add to task 8, which I don't know what that is, additional BTS oversight on behalf of Town of Madison.
And that's what Sean's estimate, or that's what he was gonna do?
That was Sean's overall estimate as to budgeting for the warrant article. For the
Yes,
We're already
165,000.
working with.
To answer your question, right now, we have, I think it's $100,000 on the warrant. And we are raising that money to pay MSK Engineer to tell us what exactly is wrong with it and a potential cost estimate as to how much it may cost to fix it. Obviously, it'd have to go out to bid. It's not a final
You
number,
picked
but
MSK.
that was Mr. Bergeron's recommendation.
Okay.
That was 3
years ago.
3 years
Well,
ago.
I'm just curious because I know the heads of the 3 largest civil engineering firms in the area.
I believe that also went out to bid as far as which engineering group we were going to use, and we settled on MSK at the time.
I think the way I'm reading it is that Turner Group is actually, Sean had recommended Turner Group, and they're doing the dam engineering consulting services.
They can
So
be
Sean is
pricey.
gonna do some other kind of
Turner can be
permitting work and
pricey.
stuff. What's that?
Turner can be pricey.
And
$83,000 for the proposed scope of work.
90 grand?
And I think we have also, the state has come and inspected, and we have two reports from them
Sure.
in 2019 and 24, I think.
Yeah.
And we
I
just
have
got
it.
another one.
Yeah,
Share-
the one
share
you
whatever you
forwarded
can share.
me.
Yeah, if you can gather
Yeah,
that
I will. I'll
information
forward
up
it
so
to
we
you,
can
yeah.
Yeah, we
kind of
can
have a
share.
package that,
Yeah.
All right, so
As far as present day rag, I can get that question answered. So
thank you, Joe. All right.
That's it.
The next item on our agenda is cable contract letter update from Attorney Miller. Linda had reached back out for Doug's request to get an update on the cable contract. However, I don't believe that Linda got an answer before she departed us. So, and I don't believe that we have it now. I don't think Linda's email's being forwarded, and to the best of my knowledge, we don't have that answer yet. So we're gonna have to reach back out and see what they have to say. But as of right now, we didn't get an update from the attorney. All right. Review, comment, approve CIP committee documentation.
All right, so the documentation we have from the Capital Improvement Committee is a capital expenditure policy and procedure, a capital expenditure request form that would be completed by department heads, employees, and members of the public, should they have a project that they request. For example, someone had come in a couple months ago requesting a certain paving project. Instructions on how to file the request or complete the request form, and then you have an abbreviated version of the capital improvement plan spreadsheet with nearly all of the large projects, heavy equipment, so basically expenditures costing $5,000 or more and or having an expected useful life of 5 or more years. So it includes everything from equipment to projects such as Silver Lake Dam is on there, town hall porches that need replacing, things like that. The accessible doors on the library. So I guess our request is that now that this work is done, that the board review, suggest amendments, and potentially, if everything is to your satisfaction, approve this so that this would be the official policy and procedure. And the form that we could put on the website for folks to.
The only amendment I have up front
Mhm.
is we need to add the signature page that we have on the rest of our policies.
Okay.
This is the one later, but this is what it looks like at the bottom of the policy.
Yep.
It has a place to sign for all the selectmen to say that we've adopted it.
I don't have my business card.
Um,
I'll start using my email.
There's a lot here. I think I've read it a couple times. But
There's a lot.
So the policy section is obviously just kind of high-level organizationally, this is kind of how it works, and then the procedure is step by step. You know what I mean? Someone fills out the form, here's how to fill out the form, then they give it to the Capital Improvement Committee to review and get extra information as needed. Capital Improvement Committee gives it to the Board of Selectmen to review and determine whether or not it's a project they even want to move forward with, and the Selectmen would hand it back to the Capital Improvement Committee to do more of the kind of legwork piece of it and work with the requester. And then we go into the CIP, back to the sort of selectmen to assign a responsible party or things like that, so. Kind of the workflow, I guess, the second half of it. Because ultimately, anything going on the CIP is the board decision. The Capital Improvement Committee is just kind of helping administer the program.
I'm just gonna ask this question, and Mike, maybe you have the answer. Because we appointed a CIP committee, this typically is a planning board function. Is it this board that adopts the CIP, or would it be the planning board that adopts the CIP? And I'm only asking because you seem to have a little bit more knowledge as far as this.
The benefit of the town would be kind of help look at both
Right.
But this committee that we have as constituted was created by town meeting.
Right.
Which is separate and independent from the way the statutes are written.
Okay.
And town meeting
Yeah.
do what town meeting wants to do.
Yep, no, I just wanted to make sure that they didn't still need to adopt it for some reason.
Well, I
but-
just think, I think it would be best to maybe when you get ready to adopt, that you maybe had a joint meeting, if you could get planning board to attend with you. And you've done a huge, the committee's done a huge amount of work on, really statutorily on their behalf, so I mean,
Yep.
it makes sense to have a joint meeting and have both boards ominous dominus.
Yep.
We agree with it and whatever.
I mean, they're two separate documents. I'm not talking about both here. One, the policy is would be our policy. The document itself, like I was saying, is originally statutorily a planning board document. Town meeting voted to have a CIP committee. I just want to make sure that we follow the statute.
And it does say that when the capital improvement plan is kind of finished for the budget cycle, to provide a copy to the planning board and the ABC and on the town website. Actually, so before that, we provide a copy to the planning board advisory budget committee and on the town website for the general public for their review during budgets season, and then provide a final copy when approved. So we do, at the very least, keep them in the loop.
Yep. Questions?
And we do have a member, the chair of the committee is, I believe, a full member of the planning board.
I guess then we need to decide if we're ready to adopt the policy itself. And then if we adopt that policy, the request form and the instructions would live on our server to be handed out as necessary. Anybody have any questions, comments, or things they would like to see differently in the policy?
Just to get ahead of any potential issues, I'm wondering if, not to kick the can down the road, if these can go out, unless they already have, like if Chief could look at them and DPW, just in case they go, I don't think this is gonna work for what we usually replace, or something like that. Like if they wanna make their notes, since they're the ones that are gonna be really buying some big stuff and wanna know when there's, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I'm just trying to get ahead of it, rather than finding out after it's all adopted and
not
everything,
right.
it's not right for each department.
Mhm.
Or if something could be tweaked to work better with the
Better,
department.
yeah.
This,
That's
yep,
all.
so they should be, with this cycle, we did kind of develop this policy based on how this cycle has worked.
Right.
So yep, if they have feedback and on the
To add or
cycle and
subtract,
on
yeah.
this, always welcome.
We're not the
to-
buyers, we're not the suggestors of anything that we need,
Well, we
they're-
are.
And we're the buyers, but they're the ones that bring the information to us.
Well, no, like, you know, Silver Lake Dam would be.
Yeah, will be
the
one that
select
we
board
would
be,
use,
yeah,
yeah,
would
yeah.
be select board thing.
So the idea would be that in theory, this is adopted, moves forward. The CIP committee would have everything populated prior to budget season.
So we would ask folks to fill out this form, following the instructions.
Right, so
Yeah.
you would say like, we need submissions prior to budget season, so that come budget season.
Yeah, it would be open year-round.
Well, my concern is, I guess it would just go to the next budget season, but like my thought would be requests and things for purchase would be done by, say, August 31st. Mike, is you
Well, I just said, based on what Selectman Gray just mentioned, I did take a review of it, and the immediate thought of it's extremely comprehensive, which is not good or bad. Maybe in the part of the policy to maybe phase in some of the steps, because we're talking about a plan that's 6 to 10 years. So theoretically, if we adopt this and we stick to it, the flexibility is what the board determines that it is. But once we adopt a plan, we shouldn't be dealing with any huge project on a short term that's not an absolute emergency. If it's not on the plan, it doesn't get approved. I mean, that's the whole idea of having it to begin with. That said, on your further out, distant in the plan, it's hard today to look at a $1 million fire truck, let's say, and talk about, well, what grants are available, and because you can look and see what's available today, but it might not be available 6-10 years from now. You know what I'm saying? So if in the policy, maybe we could specify a timeline based on the expected year of the project, whatever it may be. Look at a 10-year one and say in year 7, we need to do something to get to a firmer number, because we're gonna have to do that anyway. 'Cause
Right.
today we're talking about formulating a gigantic plan with today's dollars, because that's all we know. And
Right,
that's-
so I think that,
it's-
yeah, so we have the purchase planning section of the spreadsheet. And, yep, we just have estimates now. And I think, you know, the DPW anticipated 6.49% interest rate, because that's kind of what it is. And then they actually did account for price increases at a certain percent per year. So if we don't need to replace something until 2029, they did kind of calculate, yes, it costs this much now, but we're just going to add 3% for each year. And everything's a rough estimate until
Right,
it comes to.
But the project worksheet is very specific with respect to possible funding sources, be it sale of an existing vehicle, trade-in, whatever. There's just a lot of factors there that, talking about a project in the somewhat distant future, it's hard to be that specific.
They're not really applicable
in
until
the moment.
until the year of purchase.
But I think,
or leading
well,
up.
I think the request form is only meant to come into play when we're ready to buy.
Well, no, that request form is initial proposal of the project to the plan.
To get it on the plan, okay. So
Or,
that's,
that was my read of it.
Would be the catalyst to start the whole thing.
Right.
Is
Yeah,
what
and
you're saying?
and I think this is just estimates, you know, it does,
Right, but and I'm not, it's
what do you-
not a complaint by
No, no,
any
no,
stretch,
what's-
but the way that it looks and the way that it reads, it's like, if I can't give you that, I should bail, because I'm not even gonna bother to submit it because I don't have that information.
Mr. Chairman, could I make a comment about that?
Yep.
When we were Sharon Shelley, when we were working on this, that project form was not envisioned to be a one and done. There are upgrades to it, there are changes to it, there are, as you gain more information and go forward. Initially, it can just say grant. We're gonna look for a grant. We don't know which one, we don't know where it is, but we're gonna look for a grant. 6 months from now, when you've gone through and looked at grants and can identify down to 3 different grants, then you update that sheet as a revision to it and indicate what has changed and what's been updated. So it's not meant to be, this is the only time you get to submit this. You can change it as you go forward.
I see what you're saying though, I see what you're saying, that it looks like that.
I'm not being critical, I've always
No, no.
thought that this is important, but it's only as important as we use it.
Yep.
And historically, I think Mark Olson, chairman of the planning board, has voiced his concern that a lot of time and effort has gone into a plan over the years.
To ever be used.
To not be followed.
Yeah.
To sit there, having worked months on end to adopt a plan, to have town meeting buy 2 vehicles that weren't on that plan.
Right.
Agreed.
It leaves one with the impression that one wasted his or her time.
I think this year alone, though, I think it was very helpful, because we were able to look at adding, you know, police ETF and making sure we're setting aside some every year for the next couple of years so that we can buy as much of it outright as possible. Now, I feel like we were able to use it pretty well to,
I think it's very good. All I'm saying is that when you read it, it seems very stringent, like very strict. The documents, the words give the impression. If something could be softened up to
flexibility.
state that it's flexible,
Yeah,
because reading the forms and the documents does not give you that impression.
okay.
It's only good if you can use it.
Right.
So,
Do you have suggestions for the wording, or I can come up with new wording?
I mean, I'd be happy to look at it
Yeah.
again. I don't, like I said, I don't want to give the impression, I'm not trying to be critical, I'm trying to be a
No, it's good feedback.
team player, but it's, you can imagine the temperature is tenuous. No, I'm trying to be positive and give positive comments.
Yeah.
And
No, that's really
not-
good feedback.
Sometimes comments like that seem negative when you spent hours and hours developing a plan. No criticism is good.
Am I taking it that way? I mean,
No, but I'm just trying to say, I'm not trying to be, my comments are critical, but not in a
not in a bad way.
critical way.
Yeah. Constructive.
So
Constructive criticism.
Constructive. Appreciate your input.
you
Yes.
certainly do.
Do you
Does
want,
it,
do you have like a copy?
I
or do
have
you-
a
okay.
copy sitting on my desk.
All right,
Does
if
it-
you wouldn't mind adding that, and like Nicole said, send it to other department heads to see if they have the same feedback.
Table this.
Or different feedback.
Yeah, different feedback.
Any feedback.
Yep.
do you, so this board makes sense to send this out to the department heads to get that same type of feedback?
Yes.
Michael, do you mind sending it to the department heads for us?
I'll take care of that.
Thank you, sir.
No, that is really good feedback, because when you get so into the weeds on something like this, you lose that perspective, so appreciate that.
As far as the improvement plan goes itself, does the board want to try to get a joint meeting with the planning board to adopt it
Sounds like we should.
as a whole?
Yeah, I think
No worries.
Adam,
good idea.
I'm sorry, I hate doing this, but I had a thought before I lose it. With some of the other comments that were just made, I think it would behoove this board to think about establishing a calendar, for lack of a better, and we'll just keep adding to it as we think of different things, but this be like, set a deadline for when worksheets for FY whatever
Right.
That
needs-
actually was originally in there.
What is the deadline to submit them?
Yep.
And then because there's a period of time on our calendar when the CIP committee is gonna convene to do its work to update the plan for that particular year. But then that's gonna end, because I think it's imperative, if we're gonna use the tool, we need to adopt it, have it in place by the planning board, this board, whoever's gonna do it, before the budget season starts around September, October timeframe. They need to, the budget committee, the select board, everybody has to have that tool at their disposal when they start considering the budget.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's
But
funny, because that was originally
A
in
global
there.
calendar of political process, or whatever you wanna call it in the town, would be.
Deadlines.
Would be handy, and that could be, I know it's been tenuous, the calendar on the website isn't the greatest, but maybe we can improve it and use it in that fashion.
I worked with Carla on a few websites that do include calendars. I offer to help with that, but I defer to anybody else who has an opinion.
So would, just because we've talked about it at length, that it's such a bad time of year for everything, would, they meet the first Wednesday of the month, so push it out to April? Cause I don't know if you wanna squish another thing in March.
What?
The planning board,
To have the
planning
joint meeting.
Joint meeting.
I think this is wait till after town meeting. I don't think
That's what I
that-
said,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, there's no need to rush.
Okay.
Well,
Just
that begs
checking.
the other question. Do we want to request that they come to one of ours, or do we want to request to go to one of theirs?
Doesn't
Who
matter.
has more people?
Well, currently,
Apparently us, yeah.
Yeah.
So, they don't have very many.
Maybe we can
attendants.
ask the planning board to come to our April 14th meeting.
So this is the, not one backwards, but this is the full version. The one here is just abbreviated, so it would have fit into the town report, but we're looking to make this on the website. This is the full version. So I don't know if you want to put either of these as a draft up, because we had talked about that, putting this as a draft on the website for town meeting, so people can pull it up on their phones during town meeting, or have printed copies available. So I don't know if you had time to look at the spreadsheet piece of it. I mean, we were able to use this.
I don't mind putting a draft on the website.
Okay.
Yeah,
And just,
I'm not the only one
just
here.
the spreadsheet.
That's just me.
No, that's, I mean,
mind.
it would save trees instead of
Okay.
printing off
Yeah.
200 copies of it.
Yep, okay.
And then that's like I said, you can just say, yeah, pull it up, it's there.
Too much nervous.
You losing track of me?
I am.
So this would go under the CIC, or the Capital Improvement Committee website and the page, and then there's something else that was gonna go up. Oh, the road CIP was proposed to put up, so that would go under.
The color coded one?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that would go up. George Epstein proposed that. So would they be under the different department pages on the website, or do we just kind of put it with the warrant? So folks have town meeting information in one spot.
I would put it directly under
Yeah.
the warrant.
Okay.
Make it a lot
I
easier.
agree with that,
All right.
especially when the paving articles come up.
Is this board okay with me? I'm meeting with the planning board on March 4th. Is this board okay with me asking them to meet with us on the 14th of April at
Yep.
our regular meeting?
Yep.
Oh, and my action item from the budget hearing was to connect with the DPW and see if it was possible to update that paved road CIP prior to town meeting, and it sounds like that is something that can be done, and I'll work with the guys to get that updated.
Okay. Right. Full business.
Did you want me to work with Carla on the town calendar? I know other folks have access to the website, so I don't wanna step on toes, I just wanna offer help if it's helpful.
Working hard to get it fixed, or adding things to it?
Get more user friendly?
Just having it fixed, I think, unless, start there again, unless people want me to add stuff to it. Again, I defer to what is helpful without stepping on toes.
Kate, do you mess with the website much? You do.
Been there a couple times today.
Is it helpful to have Joy work with Carla to fix the calendar?
Whatever you wanna do, just let me know.
I don't care. You can do it.
I'm fine with it.
As a technical question, how does one create one of those calendars that people could download?
So you can do it, so even like a Google Calendar, I've done it for other websites, where you can basically subscribe to it, and then it links into your phone. So the one that we do have on town, in addition to like the elementary school and the high school and the rec and stuff, they all have their own individual calendars that you can subscribe to. So I am subscribed to the town one, but it's never behaved
No,
right
but
for
I guess I'm
Linda or
talking
Carla.
about, like.
Like a PDF?
and I know it's different, no, but like, I go to the Boston Bruins at the beginning of the season. I can click on a button to download their schedule to my, so it goes on my calendar on my phone.
That's what it is, it's subscribing, that's what it's called.
But it actually comes to my calendar, so if I'm in, I don't know, let's say East Madison, it's already on my calendar, so I don't have to worry about any kind of connectivity, it's already there, because I don't have connectivity.
Yeah, it downloads right to your calendar.
Yep.
Does our town calendar do that right
Yes.
now?
Yep.
Kind of.
But it doesn't work properly.
It goes wonky and things fall off, and so it's the function, it's the dates and the functionality of the calendar, not the subscription, I think. Well, the subscription can go off,
It
yes.
sounds like we need
So-
maybe a little bit better calendar product
Yep.
than what we currently have.
So we're all okay with Joy working with Carla to get a better calendar product up and running?
So then, I just want explicit permission to have an account on the website to do only this is authorized. To be able to be an administrator for the purposes of the calendar. Because I can't really do it without it, I don't think. Or I can ask her if I can without
Yeah,
it.
just see what Carla
Yeah, see what
says
she
you
says.
need to do it.
Alright.
All right, old business, personnel policy. That is not the right one. I think they're backwards in my book, I don't know if they're backwards in your book, but
I got 2 purchasing policies.
Yeah, you have the draft and the
Yep.
reader.
Sometimes it's easier just to read it without all of those.
so we'll start with the town of Madison property. Looks like it has all the updates that we asked for. Hopefully we don't have to go back again. I think the point was to make those edits and then have somebody motion to adopt it.
So yeah, you have the one version that shows the exact edits, and then you do have the other version that's just a clean read.
No, you're talking about the purchasing policy.
Oh, what are we talking about then?
We're talking about,
Personnel use
Personnel,
only.
yeah.
Okay,
I think it's backwards in the book.
it's backwards in the
Okay.
book than it is on
After
the agenda.
that,
alright,
Town Madison property.
yep.
Okay.
So following on the heels of the other conversation, I don't know if it goes into this policy or another policy that only employees trained in the equipment are allowed to use the equipment. Does that go without saying, or is that covered somewhere else?
We can read mine.
I mean,
I feel like it's a personnel policy, right?
yeah, but I don't know if it goes in this one.
There was a safety policy that may have covered that, but I never had a
Yeah.
chance to look at the safety program.
Fall into something else, I would think.
You might be able to get OSHA certificates for equipment that I use. You can get them free.
What was that?
You can get OSHA certificates, like if I'm gonna run a telehandler, I need an OSHA certificate. I'm gonna run certain equipment, I need an OSHA certificate. And it's free. There's gonna be someone's gonna come in, they're gonna train, and you pass the training, then you get your certificate.
That's free?
Yeah, you can get it.
Oh.
You can spend a lot of money.
No, thanks.
You can spend a lot of money, you can bring a safety guy in and do it, but there's ways to do it with little expense. And the way you do that is you take one of your employees and have them get a 30-hour OSHA certificate.
I think the 10 hours free, right?
10 hours is a piece of cake, but if you want to be able to conduct certification, you need the 30 hours.
Train the trainer type of deal.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not a bad idea.
All right, so the personal use policy is updated to the way that we asked for it to be updated last meeting. Do I have a motion on the table to adopt this policy and sign it in signature items?
I'll make the motion to adopt the personnel policy.
I'll second that.
Motion by Jake, second by Jim, to adopt the Town of Madison property policy as read with today's date,
17th.
17.
February 17th, 2026, and to sign it in signature items.
Mr. Chairman, just, I haven't seen that one. Does it have a revision date and everything?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
It's gonna be archived in our,
Yep,
Right
right
there.
up there.
Yep, this amendment is signed February 17th, 2026, is effective immediately upon an affirmative vote of the Board of Selectmen with signatures below. Yep. And this is the clean copy for the records. I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, we will sign that in signature items.
I suppose I'll ask the various department heads who are here. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna mention, I heard the OSHA thing. As far as I know, all of us have been through the OSHA class.
But probably a 10-hour class,
What's that?
a 10-hour class.
Yeah, I have been.
Right,
Yeah.
but if
Maybe
you want to
say
be able, if you want to be able
Oh,
to,
I didn't hear that.
Everybody else.
Oh,
if you want to be able to issue certification, you need to do the 30 hours.
So could I ask the police, fire, and DPW leadership, is
If-
there a policy?
One second, Julie.
Yeah.
If you're gonna ask them, can I just ask them to step in so we can hear them all? Sorry, Helen.
Come on in, boys.
Is there a policy, I was trying to find it really quick, but I can't find it really quick. Is there a policy that you can only use equipment if you've been trained in it, and there's like sign off on the training? Oh, we should probably implement one of those.
Well, that's my comment with the OSHA.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that's another day.
I mean,
Okay.
there's some equipment that the police department has driven, like the DPW pickup truck to haul a load of junk from our evidence room down to the transfer station. Maybe it should be specific to, like, maybe the chief of police shouldn't be driving the grader down the road.
Yeah.
So I think some things that are obvious
Yeah.
to, bigger than a 1-ton pickup
Yeah.
truck or something, like, have I moved equipment before? Yeah, one time there was the little John Deere tractor that was parked on the side of someone's yard, and I know how to drive a tractor, and I moved it off of out of this person's driveway so they could get in. So I think not to dumb it down too much, because there's gonna be a time when maybe, Dylan has to move a police cruiser, or I can, move a loader. It's,
So it's almost like
we're not gonna
incidental
drive it up the
use.
road or do work with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the event that something needs to be moved, we should be able to move it, in that event. So.
I guess the difference would be moving or operating. Operating,
Right.
like to
Yeah.
take care of a task would be totally different.
All right.
But you might want the loader for crowd control.
Killdozer.
Purchasing policy changes.
There we go.
I think we've gone over this a couple times. Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns with the way that it is written?
I moved under first page, number 5, the exceptions, I moved that to the top because, that was in the policy, but it became a lengthy discussion before realizing that things were already addressed later in the policy. So I figured because that was a discussion, just to move it up front, so that, and those 2 points are, in case of repeated large bulk purchases, recent previous estimates, it shall be allowed, with purchase requisition. And in case of items purchased through the state bid process where multiple bids, estimate proposals, et cetera, have been submitted to the state, additional estimates and RFPs are not required. So I just kind of moved, and then again, it was already in there, just tweaked it a little bit. In the event of emergency purchases or vehicle repairs which cannot wait until the next Board of Selectmen meeting, the administrative assistant or town administrator may approve temporarily in the place of the Board of Selectmen, an emergency purchase requisition shall include blah, blah, blah. So those were, scenarios that were already addressed in it, but we just hadn't all read down, so I just moved them up higher.
Any other questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none.
Do we need today's date?
Yeah, so that was gonna be my next thing is, we don't have a clean copy, so we can't adopt and sign tonight.
Okay.
So we need a copy without the draft watermark.
Yep.
And with that bold lettering at the bottom that says this amendment signed
On that date.
on that date, which would be our next meeting with a clean copy.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Cole, do you have a list?
I just have an update on the thoughts for cameras for the, well, actually for anywhere you want to put them. But I just did an Amazon. I did their 150 to 250, up to 4 cameras, and I would trust the DPW to make that purchase and install them if they, whatever you think will work to capture a license plate to help with anybody trying to dump and run.
Do they have a?
And it would be,
Does it
and they're
record?
noted, there's a lot of them that are noted free subscription.
Okay, I was gonna say that was my
Yeah.
question. Is there a
Yeah.
cloud fee?
Well, who, does it go to your phone or something?
I would say that it would be a login on a computer
Is
with
it
a
a-
login.
is it a
on
Blink?
If you
What
get a
type-
Ring application.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
You
there's
have
a few.
many-
There's a lot, but I'm saying that for cost purposes, it was between $150 to $250 for up to 4 cameras that were fairly well rated, without having to call Pope or something like that and get all fancy on it.
So how is the signal at the
Wi-Fi,
places where,
yeah.
well, it would be.
How is the Wi-Fi?
It's not great, but it works.
There's Wi-Fi at the transfer station?
Well, not Wi-Fi, no,
Oh.
but we get signal off, off
Yeah.
cell phones.
Yeah.
Do they run off cell phone signal? Excuse me, I'm sorry.
I don't know, that would be up to
Because I know like the
whoever
Ring
wanted to
or
buy
the
it. Yeah.
whatever
You
they're
get a
running.
ring
No, there's
thing,
no
it'll-
Wi-Fi.
It'll beep right then.
Right, but that's off of Wi-Fi, correct?
Yeah.
Not cell phone signal.
Yep, the rings do.
No, it comes to your cell phone, but I mean, as far as the camera recording, you need a Wi-Fi
Cameras up
signal.
there, There's no question.
Yep, the camera does go into your home
Right, but
Wi-Fi.
my point is, do we have
Yeah.
Wi-Fi at the dump?
Again, above
No.
what I would ever
Right.
be able to learn, I'm just bringing.
Right,
the
no, I know,
facts.
it's fine. I was just saying
I
like.
don't run cameras.
So it would have to be the type that was somehow
Cellular.
connected to a
Cellular.
computer. That would be, what's that?
You could get cellular, right?
I don't
I
know.
would think so.
That's what I,
They're
Cellular
game
cameras?
cameras.
Like a
They're
game camera,
cameras.
yeah.
What I'm
Yeah.
gonna
And they
bring
come
up
to
is
your
they have
phone.
to go to somebody's phone.
Yeah.
Do we have town issued phones? We
No.
do not have that.
No, that's why I was wondering if
That
there
or
was
you could
the
run
one thing-
wire, buy camera system, run wire, and have a computer set up.
or
set up.
or just a
But he doesn't have a
login
loader.
for it, a login.
But
So
Yeah,
that's what I was
plenty,
just.
yeah.
I for a camera, I would trust these guys to figure that out. I mean, some of you must have them on your house, right?
Right, but
Yeah, but it tries into Wi-Fi.
Oh.
Right.
But we have game cameras, so.
Just
that
get the
run
So game
cellular.
cam or a game cam.
But it has to go to a phone.
I would.
It's
And there's a
like-
subscription fee for that. It's
Right.
X dollars a month for so many pictures.
Go ahead, Jim.
I don't recommend the game camera route. I've
Okay.
done that with the police department,
Yeah.
for example, the stolen, election signs. And when you are looking through 10,000 pictures from the weekend to try to find up the plate, it is very, very time consuming, so I don't recommend that route.
Yeah, you want a timestamp
You
on
need-
it, right?
You need something that is going to come to his phone. and then-
I don't think
then
they
you
want to
could-
use their phone, right? Am I correct in that?
Well, yeah, because they don't have town issued phones.
Right.
Can you look? Do we have a computer at the transfer station? No.
Well, and the only problem with that is it's awful hard to catch the guy in the act. if you
Well, that's
can't
why the
have
camera, we
this-
were just looking for a license plate.
Yeah, but it's also nice to stop in his tracks.
Because last time it happened that we were told at a meeting was, this'll cost you $30, turned it back, didn't pay $30, dumped it anyway. He said, I'm not paying that.
Well,
dumped it.
we put
So if we had
cameras-
a capture of their license
We
plate,
put cameras on our job site,
right,
and even when Cameron, who monitors it, doesn't know who's there, he starts talking to the owner that he doesn't know the owner to say, get off her property.
Right, yeah, you could also talk to them.
Oh, yeah, you can.
They have the ones you talk in.
Oh, yeah, the phone, they're not expensive.
No, that's what I'm saying. They're
Would
not
You'll be able to
expensive.
communicate.
Would you
with
be able to
somebody.
just look, search the internet, see if you can find something that might work at the transfer station? We don't have a computer, you don't have a town phone.
I can find out.
Find something.
Yeah,
See
that
if
is,
you can-
that part is where
I can find
Right
out what
over
we're
me.
doing on job sites.
I was just trying to find the pricing and like something that was well rated for clarity.
Yeah, they're not expensive, but
Yeah.
I can find out what we use on job sites.
See if
Yeah.
you can find something and come back to us.
Yeah.
So it would have to have a cellular connection to be able to
Amazing how job site
connect to
you say
apps
we're
on
gonna
phones,
inspect
or
trucks at
it
the
may
end of
need
the
a
day,
local
what comes
computer
out
to
during the day.
stream to.
Or put Wi-Fi up there at the station.
Yeah.
Go what?
Wi-Fi, I
Or put
think.
Wi-Fi up there at the train
Right.
station.
What's on my trash? I can.
Yeah, I can't speak to the apps because my phone is so old, I can't even put an app on it, so I'm not gonna say, you should put an app on your phone, and I can't even do it.
Anything
And that,
else?
that was it from last time.
Joey?
I'm all good, thank you.
I got one thing. The other day while I was at work, I had a young gentleman come in to do a transfer on his gun, and he told me, once he found out I was a selectman, the tree that's down at the head of the lake on the ice from Hunt Barkley's old house, that the owner had contacted him, and him and another individual are going to be removing it before the ice is gone. That helps anybody? The head?
That one
The
that
head
fell
to
down
the left,
earlier,
yeah.
the rest of it fell, I think.
Yeah.
That's the old store.
Yeah, so he said it's gonna be taken care of just so we didn't have to contact the owner like
Glad
we
you
did
brought that
before,
up.
okay?
Perfect.
So that's it. So
Yeah.
he plans on taking it.
I have two things on my list. One of them is our girls here in Madison took first place at the Carroll County Basketball Tournament. The other one, it's a much smaller plaque and they're not happy about it, but the boys took second place at the Carroll County Basketball Tournament. So, great job, kids at Madison Rec, and coach of the boys team is a great asset to that group. Actually, the other thing is that summer camp registration is out and open for those of you with children who use it. But that's it.
I stopped by a week and a half ago, talked to the boys at the DPW about potential salt shed design size. We have initially settled on a 60 by 100 size shed. We're trying to make it work for the foreseeable future, so just the idea was to have the front half, 50 feet or so of it, be for split in half, salt, sand, under cover, the back half cold storage, potentially money allowing a lean-to off one side to park equipment out of the sun and weather. So I'm in the process working with Josh Battles at Diggindo's to get a estimate for the building. It's a Lester building. See what, just for, again, for,
Are you thinking wood frame or?
it's
vinyl?
wood frame with metal exterior.
Or a vinyl building, like I was.
No, a real, it's a wood frame
Okay.
with
Similar
metal
to-
panel.
Similar to what the state does it there.
Yes, yeah. So, we'll look into that and see, and then, so once I get that design built, the idea was to have the front wide open, so the stuff would be set back from the front. It would be we were discussing 8-foot cement walls, set the building on top of it to achieve the height we want to be able to back the vehicles in to dump the material in the bays, and then pave the bottom of it so that the salt won't eat the concrete. But again, I'm in the initial phase of trying to get it designed with an estimated cost for that, and then we'll go, just like I said, just reaching out at this point to get a
We
preliminary
might have the state's design.
cost estimate.
We bid on that.
Yeah, the state one, like the one that Freedom did, cost $500,000, so we're gonna try to avoid that at all
Yeah,
costs.
yeah,
No,
exactly.
you can modify.
Yeah, but
Is there any part of it that we would be able to build ourselves? Like the guys? Like,
it is very simple construction.
okay.
It's the way that they're designed is they are post and truss 10 foot on center with 2x6 girts in between.
Mhm.
So it's something that, we could either do as the DPW, I'm sure could handle it if they had the time,
Yeah.
or if we could get volunteer labor. Like I said, the cost estimate is gonna come with an erection cost built into it.
Mm-hmm.
So at least that way, moving forward, we'll have an idea of what the total cost would be, you know, approximate, and then we could, you know,
Take parts off of them.
exactly,
Okay.
adjust from there. But
I don't know if you want your town guys building that, because you're gonna need a crane.
I'm gonna get through the department heads first, Sharon.
Well, it deals with what he was just talking
Go ahead.
about. Is there an option to get two quotes, one for just the first 50 feet that you need? Because the requirement is for a salt shed,
Mhm.
right? It's not necessarily for a salt shed and a storage facility and an overhang, that kind of thing. Those are great to have. Those are probably things we want to have. But if the cost of it starts to get to the, oh my God, $500,000, what can we do for the need to have?
yeah, so the idea was to go for broke, if you will, go for what we, in a perfect world, what we would want that we could do once that would encompass everything, and then if we get to that point, we go, that's too much. It's very easy to then adjust the size down to what we need.
When you put it out to bid, you can do alternates.
I understand.
Yeah.
Here's your base.
I'm just making sure that they
Yeah.
get the.
Yes, yes. So like I said, that we were
Here's
gonna
your base,
just for
here's
the
your-
initial cost estimate, we were gonna go for, and again, we'll look at it and say, well, no, we don't want to go that route. And then again, the gentleman I'm working with is very, very generous and would redesign it for us to the smaller specifications to just house the sand and salt.
I'm looking at the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services has a fact sheet
Mhm.
about storage and management of de-icing materials. Do you have a copy of that?
On my phone.
Okay, so you
I
have
do.
one.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I would imagine Josh does too.
Yeah.
I think he's done a couple of them.
Yeah.
Kate, are you done?
I am good, thank you very much.
Good. Chief?
Sorry, I have been here the last couple of meetings, but I had calls and stuff, so. We did get the tank truck, the pump replaced, the new pump is installed, the vehicle's back in town, back in service. I only needed, because of the change from the 4-inch to 6-inch, I need to buy a couple of adapters to put on that truck that it never needed before, because it was dealing with a 4-inch suction hose, now it needs 6. But it's back in service, the project came out fabulous. And good Lord willing, get the truck for another at least 10, 15 years. I know it's an old truck by birth date, but it's very low mileage and very well maintained, so it should serve us for a good period of time. And on the tax side, we just flopped over 98% total collection for 2025 with 1 week left before penalties are assessed and added on to the unpaid amount. So if anybody's forgotten about the fact that they didn't pay their taxes, you still have another week before it's gonna be about $40 a piece for the search and registry work and all that stuff. So if you're delinquent and you just forgot, you got another week before additional penalties other than just the regular interest. No.
Why are you looking at me?
I'm looking at the camera. I'm not used to the fact that there's 18 cameras in here. And, but we just hit over 98%. That's right about where we ended up last year at town meeting time. So pretty much with all of the changes and everything, with the reval and everything, payment percentage stayed about the same.
Thank you. I did.
One more thing. On the town clerk side, obviously the public budget hearing was the last major event, so everything's been put together and submitted. I got a proof back, which I approved on Friday, so I'm waiting for the absentee ballots to arrive. Once they do, I only have right now 3 requests. So if anybody's out there watching on YouTube, and you're not gonna be able to be here on March the 10th to vote by ballot, you can make those absentee requests, but I don't have the ballots yet. I expect them in the next 6 days.
And there's a form on the website that folks can complete and return?
Yep.
Yeah.
But there is a difference now if you're, thank you for bringing that up, if you're doing it by internet/email, you will have to submit a form with a copy of your driver's license. So if you're in town and able to come in and see me, I see your face, you fill out the form in front of me, we're all good. But if you do it remotely, you have to send me a copy of your photo ID. That's the new law change that they just passed last year.
Oh, wow. IDs, huh?
Mike? Dylan?
You got the 2-week plan that we did?
I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but it is upstairs.
Obviously, the dirt roads are starting to get pretty soft.
Yep.
And I don't know if this falls under the maintenance part, so we need to get another rubber edge for one of our plows so we can plow the dirt roads without staving them up.
Yep.
We have 2 quotes right now. One's for $510.
Come in, they can't hear.
One's for $510, and another one is $800 and change, and it's the wrong size, and we'd have to adjust it. So I guess, is that part of maintenance?
Yeah, I think it's under the.
It's under $1,000 anyway,
Oh, I
so.
thought you just signed
Yeah.
a new thing.
The new thing still has.
it.
Well, we haven't signed this, and it's under $1,000,
Your
good to go.
discretion.
You're good to go.
All right. That's it.
Please plow the dirt roads. I hate to see you not.
I will say that people are issuing so many compliments right now to all the banks that have been pushed back. I myself have seen shoulders, having a shoulder on East Madison Road with this much snow is it's very noticeable, so thank you. Just so much positive feedback from people about, how the roads are these days, so kudos to the team.
Yeah, me too. I've been getting a lot of, hey, what's up with the roads? They look great. Oh, get ready for the next storm.
I don't know what it's gonna be.
Related to that, just to save around emergency services wise, obviously we're gonna do the best that we can, but this time of year, paved surfaces, frost heaves this year are unusual. It just, our response times are gonna be a little bit slower, because with the big trucks, you can only go so fast anyway, but with the roughness of the roads, it's really punishment to ride inside it. I had to go to a mutual aid call in Freedom down East Madison Road, which it is what it is. It's the way the road is, but you really have to slow down on some of the spots because you get thrown right through the roof. So we do obviously the best that we can, but before complaints come this time of year, it's gonna be just a little bit slower because you gotta drive a little bit slower. And the same goes for the ambulance. They're really stiff vehicles and they ride. It's not like your passenger vehicle.
Okay, quick question on the plan. Did you send that by email or drop that off in the office?
Everybody should have had a copy in paper in the office.
I think it was in the bin.
Okay.
Like on the wall?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
on
I
the-
think it's sitting on my desk still because I haven't finished it.
Would it be possible, no, just to email it?
And is that how you prefer it? You'd rather in an email than in book?
I don't, whatever's
I
easier for
prefer
you.
it on paper. But that's
Yeah,
me.
whatever's easier for you.
I mean, I can.
Our emails are on the website now, except for yours, because we didn't have your blessing to put your email up.
Yeah.
You want your email up? No, all right.
Less the better.
All right.
Well, I bet you know.
Two things before we didn't discuss. Well, one I forgot. I won't be here Thursday.
Oh.
And everybody just reminded me of that. So I mean, but I don't think you need me to put up an ad.
Okay.
And we'll have at least 4 of you, I
Yeah.
would imagine.
Yeah.
In my absence, somebody just has to run the meeting. I'm sure you guys can handle it. It's not that hard, I don't think. The other thing is, we're gonna put out this ad, but we don't have anybody in that desk, and I think we skipped by that.
Oh, yeah, I meant to bring that up,
We need somebody in that desk.
I think we have a
now.
couple calls into MRI right now, and we're just waiting to hear.
Can we put it out to the
Different.
community too, to see if there are any administrative assistants who are?
Okay, that's the thing. We need somebody tomorrow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not to say we shouldn't put it out to the community, because we're gonna put out the ad anyway, but I think we need to contact MRI and get somebody in here immediately. And I don't know that we've contacted MRI about that specific subject.
They didn't call me back today.
They called me back, but it was about
Something else, yeah.
something completely different. So, I can do it, doesn't matter who does, but I think we need to contact MRI and ask them to fill that position for us
Yep.
temporarily.
Yep. We kinda decided last time, we just
Yeah.
haven't heard.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So I will call, if it's all right with you guys, I will call MRI tomorrow. I'm sure I'm not gonna get anybody tonight and ask them to
To
fill
fill
that
it.
position until we can fill it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Fair enough,
Tom?
I will do that. I won't be here Thursday to give you an answer, but you'll know if there's somebody knocking on the door, I guess. I'll figure out how it all works
Okay.
tomorrow. And then maybe I'll send out a BCC to
Yeah.
everybody so you have an
A
update.
general idea of
Yeah.
how it works, okay.
I think Dylan has the vote.
I do.
Dylan?
So, in reference to the Watershed meeting, we have a town laptop that is locked by a previous boss, department head. For the video call, that's the only thing we've got with a video camera. So is it possible to get that unlocked? I mean,
We can probably take that to North Ledge Technologies and have them,
so should I bring it here tomorrow, up here tomorrow, or,
do you want me to?
because the meeting's next Tuesday?
I can't unlock it.
No,
I'm like,
not smart enough.
If you can get it unlocked for him, Joy, that would be great.
Okay, I'll,
It would take Patrick, if you want.
Oh,
I'll call
okay.
Patrick tomorrow and,
Yeah?
he
Yep.
may not be able to, but if he can.
well, if it was set up by him to work on our system,
Yeah.
chances are,
He'll have an
He knows
admin
how to
on
do
it.
he at least,
Yes.
He's an administrator.
he should have an administrative password to be
To
able
get
to
in.
reset.
Okay,
It says you can reset it with the USB thing.
Right, but
Right.
it takes an ID guy.
Yeah.
No, it
Above my
goes,
pay grade.
it's
Yep.
not the most recent DPW director, it's the
Yes.
One prior to.
one prior to.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can give Patrick a call.
so it hasn't been used in a while.
I have another issue.
Dust it off.
I have another issue for Patrick anyway, so
all right,
Well,
thank
I
you.
guess
Okay,
I do
thank
too,
you.
because our computer down at the law garage isn't working.
I'll give him a call tomorrow, see if we can get couple hours in town. He'll come down, he lives in Eaton, so.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
thank you
Okay.
both.
Signature items.
Were we gonna talk about this at all? Cause I'm
Oh,
fine
yeah,
with it.
the selectmen's report.
It was just
Oh,
on my
jeez.
desk.
No,
It was on your desk, it didn't make it to the agenda because I just printed it. I mean, basically, it was just for all
I'm
of
good
you.
with it, I just was like, just wanted
Yeah,
to let you
no.
know I was good with it.
If you're all good with it, I'll make sure it makes it into the
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read
town
it.
report.
Sound good.
yeah, no, sounds good to me. Do we have to make an official?
Motion or
motion to
vote
approve it?
or?
I make a motion to approve the selectmen's report as written for, the town annual report.
Oh, second that, Joy.
Motion by Joy, second by Jake, all those in favor?
Aye.
Now, signature items. Oh, let's take yeah, public comment.
Hi, Donna Bay. As part of this conversation tonight, I found it interesting, and I learned that the town has had 2 prior investigations of late without, what kind of public information can you share with us as far as?
So those were both, and I err on the side of just letting it all out there, to be honest with you, because those were both public investigations. One of those investigations was into how many hours worked for a specific employee based on their status as an employee, whether part-time or full-time. The other one
That
was
was an investigation?
by the state, called upon by a citizen. The other one was an investigation into conduct by a previous officer here.
A previous what?
The previous chief of police, also called upon by the same citizen.
Whoa.
Can I ask
And
a
that's-
question?
Is that information public?
It's on them. It was their investigation. They had, it wasn't, it
So
was
it
brought
was
to
the
us.
state.
Yeah, they were both state agencies doing this.
Okay, thank you.
How does one find that? I didn't know any of this. How did you find this out?
Yeah.
No, I think it was John Aruda said that there were 2 previous investigations.
Oh, he did? Just today?
I thought he referenced MRI though, in the context of MRI.
Oh, I was like, I thought this was like new news.
I'm not gonna throw her under the bus, but it was Kate that
It was
mentioned
me.
it in her,
Yes, it was.
in her
Oh.
statement.
John did mention MRI,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think it was a different.
You worked with MRI on something, he said.
And both those were unfounded.
So how come,
Both came back
How
with no
come-
findings.
I'm just learning this.
And
I thought you
it's
meant in the
there.
present, like right
No.
now, where,
No,
what is
these were
happening?
No, within the
Last 2
couple,
years.
3 years.
Yeah.
And was that ever discussed?
Well, they would have been personnel issues that
Oh,
were.
I see, okay. I
Yeah.
understand. Well, thank you.
Alright, signature items. That's the personal property that we adopted. This is the MS 636. Just make sure you find the right name.
My name is Jacob. At least that's what I've been told my whole life.
This is a clean copy of the warrant.
Do I need to list what you're signing
Things.
No, they were
They
posted.
sign things.
They were posted on the agenda. I always kid you.
Yeah, there's like.
What would we do without Linda? I have to write my own name.
Oh, I have to print my name on this? This is ridiculous. What extra ink?
We didn't discuss that.
I think so. I think you have to be.
I can't even read it from
What are you
Jim.
staring at really fast?
He's like, why are you looking?
You're doing it really fast.
I think it does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it has to be.
That was awesome.
You can read my writing.
Can't read that from here.
You can't get that from him.
Okay.
So this one here that I'm signing is.
That's all you
We
write.
need a motion before I sign that one. Oh, it's right here. DPW 2-week claim.
Ah,
I knew I had it somewhere. And there are
Copies for everyone.
copies for everyone.
Yay, there we go.
I'll hit it down.
Got it.
All right, so this one here, I need a motion to sign. This is a agreement to work with Attorney Chris Bolt for town meeting. I think you all got a copy of it
Yeah.
via email. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept working with Chris Moore.
I'll second it.
Motion by Jake, second by Jim. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh my, that's small.
You gotta print your name.
Okay.
Sign and date.
Print, sign, and date.
Is that just yours?
You can see
Yeah, it's
that's
just
tiny.
mine.
That's where the
Yeah.
assessor makes a recommendation.
That's just that.
That's it.
That's okay.
Do we want to do that now?
What's that?
Or not?
Go back up into
The
non-public.
non-public, yeah,
We
probably.
can do it right here.
Yeah, I think we can do it here real quick.
Go back up.
Can we just do it here?
Yep. All right, I am going to make a motion to enter non-public session per RSA 91-A:3, Roman numeral 2, little a, the dismissal, promotion, or compensation of any public employee, or the disciplining of such employee, or the investigation of any charges against him or her, unless the employee affected, 1, has a right to a meeting, and 2, requests that meeting be open, in which case the request shall be granted. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Jake, roll call.
Nicole, aye.
Joy, aye.
Jim, I.
Adam, aye.
Jake, aye.
Is that kind of a B though?